Alrighty, everybody, welcome back to another live stream here on the channel. Hopefully you're all having a great Saturday so far. Let's see, we have in the chat today. Glad to have all you guys back in here. We have Caden, Rockets, Kevin, as well as Sam, Indiana, Jake, Billy, Brian, Random Guy, Phoenix. Let's see, Weston Weatherwise, Northeast Weather Team, and Aaron and everyone else who is in the chat who I may have missed or is not chatting. Edits. Let's see if I can find any more else further up here. Catman. I'm not sure if I mentioned Catman. Proxy. Glad to have you in here as well. Sam, Daniel, and yeah, let's go ahead and dive right on into this. Let's switch on over to our main scene. So, yeah, we've got the potential for a severe weather outbreak today with tornadoes that are expected according to the SPC's newest outlook. We have a slight risk and enhanced risk for severe weather. The tornado risk today is a 5%. It's a decent-sized 5% tornado risk from northwest Oklahoma all the way back down into the Dallas area. Damaging winds were upgraded to a 30 significant there, just like we were talking about yesterday. And hail was actually also upgraded to a 30 significant as well. So two upgrades there from the SPC for the overall risk, and that tornado risk, 5% risk, was shifted very well into Oklahoma. That whole portion of the slight risk for tornadoes is completely new at the, I don't think it was the 4 o'clock update. I think it was the 1630Z update. And we actually do have a tornado watch currently in place across portions of Oklahoma for the potential of a tornado or two over the next couple of hours. We could end up eventually seeing a few tornadoes in the tornado watch area all the way until very late tonight, about 11 p.m. Eastern time. Also, a severe thunderstorm watch out here in the Dallas area. Now, things are not going as expected. Things are going a lot better than originally anticipated. We have a lot more of a clustered mode today that has actually promoted less of a hail threat, less of a wind threat, and less of a tornado threat. So all hazards currently have been underperforming at the moment. I'm sure these will begin to grow upscale even more significantly over the next hour and a half. There is the potential for 80-mile-an-hour winds and up to 5-inch hail. That 5-inch hail threat should be mainly around the Dallas-Fort Worth area later this late this afternoon into the early evening hours. I do want to go ahead and switch guys on over to the second scene here. We haven't used this one in a hot minute, but I do want to show you. You're going to have to look closely. So the tornado we tracked yesterday across the Somerset and London area in southeast Kentucky. Look right there. It's very difficult to see, I just circled it with a very thin line. Right there is a tornado scar. So that is actually scarring that occurred through the forest area there between London and Somerset out there in Kentucky. So that is very significant scarring there. You might have to you go ahead and just look at it yourself on College Due page with the localized sector, because I know YouTube's going to decrease the quality a little bit. It's very small. It is at the very tip of my cursor is where the tornado scar is from yesterday's tornado through the heavily forested areas there in between Somerset and London, Kentucky. So very difficult to see, but the fact you can see it from satellite is insane. I've never been able to see a tornado from satellite before. Never been able to see a tornado's track from satellite before on College of Dew page. I've seen it before when the National Weather Service takes their special high definition satellite and takes a close to zoomed in view of the tornado track, but never from College of Dew page before, which is still a high resolution satellite, but typically not high resolution enough to detect and see tornado scars. So that is absolutely insane, the fact that we can see that from satellite imagery. I wanted to point that out because it is an absolute absurd feature that the tornado from Somerset to London, Kentucky left yesterday. New severe thunderstorm warning just got issued out here for Stephenville, might be Stephenville, in central Texas for 1-inch hail, 60-mile-an-hour winds. That's going to be the main name of the game today. 1-inch hail, 60-mile-an-hour winds. We're going to see a lot of those severes across the nation here today. So just get used to me saying 1-inch hail, 60-mile-an-hour winds, because we're going to get a lot of those all across this area. I do want to go over to Vermont and New York, because that's actually where we have the most significant severe weather right now. 1.75-inch hail for a severe storm exiting Warrenburg, New York. So that is actually a significant severe there. Also 1.5-inch hail on this severe in Glen Falls, New York. Vermont did have a few severes. Looks like there's only 2 left over. Both of those are 1-inch hail, 60-mile-an-hour winds. The southern one there for the Glover area in Vermont, 38 minutes on that. The northern one for Newport, Vermont, is for 23 more minutes. So just a few severes up there. Another severe north central Pennsylvania for Mansfield for 60-mile-an-hour winds and 0.75-inch hail. But the main area we are going to be focusing for today is Texas. Texas will be what we talk about the most in this live stream. As we get later in the live stream, we are going to start mentioning more and more of Oklahoma as things begin to pop off there in the state of Oklahoma. Tomorrow currently doesn't look as bad as originally anticipated. So Sunday, I don't know if we're going to see a moderate risk for Sunday's storms there for tomorrow. It doesn't look nearly as bad as we were originally thinking for Oklahoma. If storms do fire off that dry line, though, there will be a conditional intense tornado threat in central Oklahoma. Very conditional threat. If a storm can get going, it's likely going to be able to plant a strong to intense tornado. The main target area tomorrow will probably end up being western Nebraska. They recently added a enhanced risk out there in Nebraska. That's where confidence is actually higher in the opportunity for large to very large hail and a tornado or two. Actually, a few tornadoes being possible in that area. So tomorrow, I don't see going moderate. At one point, I did see it potentially going moderate. I don't think it will anymore. It looks way too conditional for thunderstorms to fire on the dry line. The NAM model doesn't have storms firing on the dry line. The NAM 3K doesn't have storms firing off the dry line in Oklahoma. The HRRR does, but it only has 1 to 2 of them in Oklahoma. So I think it's a little bit more conditional there. Monday has uptrended significantly. I do believe we could see a moderate risk, likely a large moderate risk for severe weather across much of Kansas into eastern Oklahoma, Missouri. Very likely that we see a day 2 moderate risk there. Actually, highly likely we get a day 2 moderate from the SPC there once we go into tomorrow's outlook. Right now, I don't see a way how Monday is not a significant outbreak for all significant hazards. I think we will see the potential for 3-inch hail, 80-mile-an-hour winds, and likely multiple strong to intense tornadoes will be possible going into to Monday's severe weather threats. So Monday will likely be one of the bigger outbreaks we get out of this sequence. Of course, I think yesterday's going to be number one. I don't think Monday will be able to pass that, but Monday definitely could end up being a very significant threat for all significant hazards, including multiple strong tornadoes. A lot of uncertainty on how Tuesday will evolve, but they have introduced a enhanced risk. And actually, if you are out here in Nashville, back down towards around the Birmingham area, northwest of Birmingham, this area was not even in the day 5 slide. So you actually were upgraded from a no risk to a enhanced risk in the matter of one SPC update. Personally, I am very unsure on what's going to happen on Tuesday. There's no really good cam model that can reach out that far. I do believe we'll see the chance for a few strong tornadoes, but anything more than that, and I'm too unsure about what may occur. So mainly, we're just going to wait to see which way things trend for Tuesday. But Tuesday could easily be another big day for severe weather, likely centered over the Nashville, Tennessee, Florence, Alabama area, back down into Winona in Mississippi. That will likely be the main area for the potential of strong tornadoes. Trying to get a model run here that might be able to go far enough out to Tuesday's threat. It shows a huge MCS. That's what it shows. And it actually shows it in Missouri and Arkansas, not even into Mississippi or Alabama until after dark. Yeah, but Monday looks pretty rough for all hazards, including tornadoes. It looks pretty notable, so we'll see if we end up with a day 2 moderate for Monday. It's definitely a possibility. Thankfully, though, at least tomorrow has downtrended. Tomorrow is all going to be down to probably, it's all going to come down to if storms can fire along that dry line. All right. We did get a severe thunderstorm warning in Oklahoma. That has the potential that has the potential for all significant hazards. This is going to track towards Norman, Oklahoma over the next hour. I will very quickly go look at mesoanalysis because this could be an issue. This will have the opportunity to produce a strong tornado, potentially an intense tornado. If it can stay mature, yes. It is in a very favorable environment for a strong tornado. An extremely favorable environment. So if you are downstream of this, if you are in Norman, Oklahoma, near Shawnee, this storm has fired up out in a very favorable environment, potentially even a volatile environment like what we had yesterday in western Kentucky. And it is going to try its best to explode in intensity. Hopefully it doesn't, but you can already see this already has a supercellular shape to it. It already has a curvature shape to it, a sharp cutoff right here. So this could easily become a very big issue for central Oklahoma. It is on the warm front, so it is also latched onto the warm front as well. There is at least 4,000 instability, potentially as high as 6,000 instability. There is significant veering in the lower levels. That's something we missed in yesterday's environment. We didn't have nearly as good a veering as what we do with this storm. Not even close. There is lower level wind shear is a little lacking, just a bit. It's around 150 0 to 1 kilometer lower level wind shear. Definitely enough to promote a all hazards threat with this. And the temperature dew point spread is not bad at all. Dew points are at 75 with temperatures at 86. So you are at a near perfect 10-degree temperature dew point spread with this storm. It is in a very favorable environment. Matter of fact, it might be in the most favorable environment in the entire U.S. Yeah, it is. This storm is in the most favorable environment in the whole U.S. right now. So hopefully something goes wrong to where this storm just dies off out of nowhere. I find that a little bit unlikely. So again, this is going to head up towards Norman in about an hour. That's going to be the main area to watch for this storm to potentially become tornadic. Yeah, it ain't dying out. That's for sure. I'll zoom in satellite imagery above my face cam. Right onto this storm. And it just erupted. It just absolutely erupted here in southwest Oklahoma, and is now going into central Oklahoma. Another storm erupting in Durant, Oklahoma. Yeah, these were not supposed to fire. These were not supposed to fire. Not a single model run had these storms firing. I did not think we were going to be talking about Oklahoma until like 7 tonight, if we were even live that long. It is in a volatile environment. It really is. Let me see here. I'm trying to see if anything could inhibit this from really exploding. There's also dry air in the 700 millibars, so that's going to promote very rapid intensification of this supercell. The only limiting factor is there's not a bunch of lower level wind shear. There's I took a sounding just in front of it, and there's 130 0 to 1 kilometer wind shear. So wind shear is not the absolute best out here. The thing is, wind shear improves with time. So the more northeast it moves, the better wind shear it gets into. I'm pretty sure, yeah. In about 2 hours, it could be into upwards of 200 0 to 1 kilometer SRH. So almost 50 more than what it's currently in. A little more than 50 more. So that could end up being an issue right there. We're going to need to keep a very close eye on that, see if it explodes any more intensely. These storms in Texas are going to be big-time hailers. Potentially hail as large as 5-inch in diameter as we get into the late afternoon. Well, now we're actually heading into the evening here. We're starting to head into the evening hours, so this should continue to intensify. I'm trying to see if any model run depicted this storm in Oklahoma firing. Even if it's one of the worst models we have. But I don't see any of them. The RRFSA model did predict this one firing near Durant, Oklahoma. But none of them. What about any of these? There's 3 more cam models I can look at. Nope. This one. Nope. Last one. None of them have it firing. So this storm was not supposed to happen. And it's in a very favorable environment. So we'll see if it's able to rapidly grow upscale or not. NAM 3K? No, it doesn't. It doesn't show it. If we go to the NAM 3K model on this, I can prove you that it doesn't show it. So there you go. This is 5 p.m. Eastern in 10 minutes, and the NAM 3K doesn't have a single storm right in this area. None. It does have these cells firing up in south central Oklahoma near Ardmore and Durham, Oklahoma, but not this one. This one is invisible on the NAM3K. It's not there. So the environment is capable of producing a strong to intense tornado out of this storm. However, things can easily go wrong with just the storm as a whole. So we'll continue to watch it. There's a chance it does absolutely nothing. Lord have mercy. Listen to this. This is Norman, Oklahoma's area forecast discussion for Monday. Monday continues to be the most concerning day for significant tornado potential as jets overspread Oklahoma, which will add 50 to 60 knots of 0 to 6 kilometer bulk shear to an extremely unstable environment. An outbreak of tornadic supercell thunderstorms are possible along the dry line by Monday afternoon west of the I-35 corridor and track quickly to the northeast with storm motion around 34 to 45 miles per hour into central Oklahoma. An outbreak of tornadic supercell thunderstorms are possible on the dry line by Monday afternoon. That is from the National Weather Service in Norman, Oklahoma themselves. For Monday's threat. This thing's blowing up. It is. Look at that. Look at the newest scan. It is exploding. Just like what the environment is favorable for. So this is going to be the one we need to keep a very, very close eye on. See if that can really become more mature. It's already getting very mature. I mean, it absolutely exploded. This storm is not even close to as in a favorable environment. Not even remotely close. A substantially less favorable environment. Look at the hodograph in front of our storm in central Oklahoma. Look at that. A very favorable hodograph. I don't even know if we saw a hodograph like that yesterday. They didn't have a lot of lower level veering, so they didn't have that really nice curvature, the pink you saw there at the end of the hodograph. They didn't have a lot of that nice curvature that this supercell has in central Oklahoma yesterday. So, I mean, look at this. This is already starting to take on a supercellular characteristic shape. Not but 10, 15 minutes after it's formed. So we're going to keep monitoring that. Like I said, this is going to go up towards Blanchard, Norman, Noble, Purcell, Lindsay. Don't know which way you would pronounce that in Oklahoma. Alex. The main area I'm worried for is Norman because this storm, by the time it gets up to Norman, it's going to be in an even better environment. That's where that hodograph was taken. That hodograph you saw, I took it in Norman. Just barely in front of this storm. Cape does drop off a little bit in Norman. We go from 6,000 Cape to 4,600 Cape. As long as that instability stays over 1,000, it's going to be sufficient enough. This is violent tornado parameter. It's not something I like to show often because it just feels like fear-mongering. It really does. But you could see it is... That little cell looks little on this. That little cell is right in the bullseye of violent tornado parameter of 16, 17, right around there. And this, the warm front is like right up in there too. So, I mean, it's very close to... I don't think it's fully latched onto the warm front. The warm front is right in here. Generally somewhere right in this area. I'm trying to see where your wind barbs change direction. So it's not latched onto that warm front completely. It's just behind it. So I'm extremely concerned for this storm. I'm hoping something can go wrong with it. It is in a very volatile environment. Give me just a second. I want to quickly tweet this out. Okay. Just want to tweet that out real quick. And it's fully discrete, too. That's another thing. It is a complete discrete supercell. Fully discrete. Lower level wind shear is probably the only limiting factor, Ben. Your lower level wind shear is about 130 or so in the 0 to 1 kilometer, but then it's at 250 in the 0 to 3 kilometer. Typically, we look for around or greater than 150. So 130 is a little bit less. All right, let's go back down to Texas, see if we're getting anything down here. They're still all warned for low and severe. They haven't fully exploded yet. See if the HRRR might have that changing here. Yeah, the biggest hail threat should be with any storms that can get going west of Fort Worth. If we can get any cells in this area and they move towards Fort Worth, that will be the biggest issue. So we'll need to monitor to see if any of those storms... yeah, somebody I follow who is really great at analysis, this is what he just said. I hadn't really thought about a tornado threat, but I'd be concerned about this tornado threat as the storm approaches the warm front around the I-35 corridor. Given the extreme destabilization, a significant tornado can't be ruled out. Looks like a few people are starting to see that storm. It's an eye catcher, that's for sure. It's an eye catcher for sure. No rotation with it at all, so that's good, but that's why I pointed out Norman first. Because I didn't expect this thing to explode in like 10 minutes and start rotating within that time frame. I expect for it to slowly begin to rotate as it approaches Norman. Catman, you're looking ahead of the warm front. That's why. As the warm front lifts north, the dew points will get better. You got to look where it is with the dew points. So right now, 86 temps, 74 dew points. North of the warm front, it's 81 and 59, but this storm has fired behind the warm front. If it fired ahead of the warm front, then yeah, it wouldn't be much of a tornado issue at all. It would be mainly a elevated thunderstorm. 1 Yeah, College Dew page is wrong. It says 62 dew points. No, we have observed 74. So that's not correct at all. I don't think there's anything I can show you guys to show you the main warm front lifting north. And I mean, this storm is it's gonna be very close to latching onto that warm front too. Very close. National Weather Service in Norman, a couple of storms are rapidly developing along and just south of a warm front in southern Oklahoma. These storms will be quickly capable of producing up to baseball-sized hail and damaging winds. The tornado risk will increase as they approach the warm front. 2 to 4 inch hail will be possible, damaging winds, and a few tornadoes also possible. That is from the National Weather Service in Norman, Oklahoma, as of about 11 minutes ago. So when the Norman talks about this storm, the National Weather Service in Norman talks about this storm, yeah, you know it's the real deal. Let's see. I wonder if Connor Croft has targeted up here. I don't know if any chaser has targeted up here at all. Also, if you guys haven't already, make sure you hit that like button and share the stream so that we can get the word out about this potentially dangerous storm, depending on how it evolves as it goes towards Norman. So make sure you hit that like button. That's the most important thing because it helps push us out to the YouTube algorithm. Checking chasers to see if we got any chasers on this storm. They're all in Texas because this wasn't expected. We were not expecting this. We were not expecting this storm to fire in Oklahoma. But they put out that tornado watch very early. I was very surprised to see that tornado watch issued so early. Nah, I mean, it was issued probably like near 3, right around 3, about 2 hours ago. I didn't expect it at all. Alright, there is a few chasers heading towards the storm. That's good. There's a few chasers who are starting to target this storm now. Only a few, though. Because remember, most of our chasers yesterday were in central Kentucky or western Kentucky. So the drive back, that's a long drive. A very, very long drive. I want to check something real quick. See where our chaser Connor Croft is. He pushed his stream back to 6 o'clock, so... Okay, I'm not able to see where he's located. Actually, a few chasers are getting on this storm now. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chasers converging on this one storm. 5 chasers are heading for this one storm. They're all starting in different areas and heading right for this cell. Its best opportunity to produce a tornado will be right around Norman. Very, very close to Norman. That will be its best opportunity to produce a tornado. I want to go back down to Texas. So these storms well to the southwest of Texas, or rather Dallas, Texas is what I meant. These storms well to the southwest of Dallas, Texas. They should stay off to your south until we get towards about 7 o'clock Eastern time tonight. So about 2 hours from now, these storms are going to start heading into downtown Dallas. Tornadoes, I don't expect to be an issue. We could see a spin up tornado around 7, but I really don't expect it to be much of an issue. The newest HRRR, which literally just started rendering in, it still doesn't acknowledge this storm heading towards Norman, Oklahoma, even though it literally just started rendering. So the main threat in Texas is by far big time hail. All right, let's go back to this radar site. Starting to see some velocities upticking here. I don't believe it's any rotation at the moment, but velocities are starting to at least uptick. We'll get a new mesoanalysis here in 10 minutes, so we'll be able to see if that warm front has lifted more north. So this is likely inflow beginning on the storm, which could be the beginning of this storm trying to rotate. Dallas has a pretty good chance to see hail and damaging winds, but the tornado threat is still low there. You're in a 5%. You are in the greatest tornado threat today, that 5% chance. So you need to be weather aware in Dallas. But the clustered mode here will likely keep any tornado threat at bay and very low. So if we don't see a storm become discrete or semi-discrete out here as it approaches Dallas, the tornado threat is going to be very low. Still a very sharp cutoff here, which allows for it to get a very nice supercellular look on radar. I don't see any hook echo starting or any strong rotation starting or anything like that. It's still heading directly up towards Norman, Oklahoma. Almost looks like 2 storms embedded in here. Nearly looks like a cell up here. And then the cell down in here. It might cell split. If it does, then the right mover, whichever one that may be, is going to have a increased tornado threat. So we're going to watch this cell very, very closely to see if anything could come out of it. I'm trying to check what everyone else in the weather community is saying about this storm, seeing if anybody is mentioning anything that may be wrong with the environment. But most of the community is now watching this one storm. When there's a discrete storm in Oklahoma in a good environment, all eyes are going to go right to it. A bunch of lightning and actually some relatively smaller hail still falling out here in Texas. Everything's really about 1 inch in diameter hail. Right around there. So nothing I am really concerned about in here. It's just very clustered. They did not fire semi-discrete or at least a little away from each other. They all fire directly in the same area. So that's likely just going to lead to this becoming a big-time mess. I think the tornado threat with these storms will stay very low in Texas. That may change as we get closer to 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock Eastern. Could begin to increase. Storms in Vermont, New York, all down to normal severes. 1-inch hail, 60-mile-an-hour winds on most of those, except for the one on the Pennsylvania-New York border. It's 0.75-inch hail and 60-mile-an-hour winds there. So if you're just tuning in, we're watching a supercell that is fired unexpectedly southwest of Norman, Oklahoma. It is in a volatile environment capable of producing a strong tornado if it can really get going and latch on or near that warm front located just barely to its north-northeast. So once it gets towards Norman or right around the Norman area, it should begin to rotate. If it doesn't, then that will be absolutely awesome. But the environment is very, very supportive of this supercell, likely intensifying and eventually trying to rotate. Texarkana, main threat for you should be damaging winds, I believe. I think you're in the enhanced. Yes. You could still see some large hail. I think things will grow upscale, so I don't really think you'll see much larger than 2-inch in diameter. But damaging winds up to 80 miles per hour, they're most likely centered right over the Texarkana area. And the tornado threat is still there, it's just low. It's at 2%. Refresh satellite imagery here. Yeah, it's starting to get an overshooting top, too. How high up is this thing going? Let's see. 51,000 feet up in the atmosphere. That's a tall storm. Just upgraded the warning to 1.25-inch hail. A little bit larger hail possible with it. Again, it's still possible this storm does absolutely nothing. Just the environment is extremely favorable for this storm to intensify. A lot of storm chasers are now getting on this storm. There's like 10 chasers that are currently going from kind of north central Oklahoma, diving south towards this storm. And then there's a few that are in north central Texas booking it north towards this storm. The stuff in Texas, it's all very clustered and messy. So it's not good for a storm chase. Whereas this is a chaser's dream right now. As long as it doesn't drop a tornado going towards Norman. I don't know how many fields are out here, but I do know Norman is very populated. So this storm is going to continue to intensify. At least large hail and damaging winds will be the possibility with this cell. But also the potential for a tornado or two out of this storm. Potentially even a strong tornado. Just simply depending on how much it can really get rotating. Should get a new meso-analysis to see where that warm front is located at any minute. Yep, storm is still in a perfect environment. It is still in a perfect environment. Especially when it gets near Norman. Now, after it passes Norman, it's either going to latch on to the warm front and continue to pose a all hazards threat, or it could pass north of the warm front and decrease in all hazards. One or the other. That warm front should be located just north of Norman. It should be located right along the I-40 corridor. Not looking very promising for a tornado threat in the short term here, but still going to monitor it. Still going to be something we need to pay very close attention to. Yeah, that storm in Durant, Oklahoma, that's a failed storm. So it's fired up, strengthened, and it is now weakened below special weather statement limits. That's what we were expecting this afternoon. Storms to fire and then die out, and then maybe in the evening they would be able to fire and possibly maintain into the early night hours. We weren't expecting a storm to explode and then become this large and favorable. Like I said, I don't think any model run showed this happening. See if wind shear has improved at all according to mesoanalysis. Wind shear has jumped to 170 in this area. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Literally, that one area, it just divots right down into where the storm is and then goes right back up. Literally, that one area is right where the wind shear divots down into. That just shows you how perfect of an environment it is fired in. It's literally in the exact correct spot. Any more west and it would be outside of that. If it formed way more north of Norman, it would be on the warm front or past it and likely not as big of a threat. If it formed southeast, it would probably just start to die out like that one in Durant, Oklahoma did. It formed in the perfect spot. Yeah, and wind shear, you can see there, right where my cursor is. I'll move my cursor. Just to the right of my cursor. 165. 165 0 to 1 kilometer shear. The photograph looking really good. Really good photograph there. And skew T, you could see dry air towards the 700 millibar layer. That could promote rapid development of a supercell. Also, hail could be promoted there due to that sharpness of your dry salot. Veering, this is what we missed yesterday in western Kentucky. We didn't have sharp veering like that in the lower levels. And man, do we ever have it out here in Oklahoma. Not too sure how, but we do. I don't think there's any big trough. Yeah, no big trough. It's, I think it's a shortwave. Actually, let me take you back to mesoanalysis. I haven't looked at this yet. Let's go to the 500 millibars. I haven't checked it. Yep, there's a shortwave right there. And another one back in here, too. And even a third one right here. There's a few short waves, but this is your main one right in there. See if we can see it from 700 millibars, too. We should be able to really see it. Yeah. Very, very, very easy to spot shortwave. Very easy to spot. Really easy to spot shortwave trough. So that's what's fueling this storm to initiate. That's your forcing mechanism right there. Don't think there's a lower level jet response. Nope. Maybe in the overnight hours that gets a little bit stronger, but not much of a lower level jet response. All right, let's go back down to Texas. We got a new severe warning for 1-inch hail for Granbury, Texas. Just make sure you're indoors, away from doors and windows. But this stuff is significantly weaker than anticipated. The far southern one is up to 1.5-inch hail, though. This one's up to 1.5-inch hail. Apparently. Oh, do you see how fast that storm died off? Look at that in Mason. You see that? It just died right out. Wow. Reed Timmer, Connor Croft, and a bunch of other chasers are starting to go after this storm. Connor was on the Durant, Oklahoma one, so I imagine he's gonna be trying to book it up to Central Oklahoma, but I don't think he's gonna make that. But Reed Timmer is on it. Let's see. Give me a second. I want to go check this just briefly. Okay, that is what it was. Alright, sorry, I just wanted to check something. Yep, Reed is going for this storm. It doesn't look as good as what it once did. To be honest with you, it just looks like a huge blob right now. It just is a huge blob. It looked quite a bit more organized when it first formed. Still going to be something we keep an eye on. New severe for eastern Mississippi. And Bay Springs for 1-inch hail, 60-mile-an-hour winds. Significant severe in far southern Arkansas for 1.75-inch hail over Strong, Arkansas. That is 1.75-inch hail there. Back up in the northeast, these storms are still just producing isolated damaging winds and isolated small to very, very isolated as large as 1-inch hail. They're not that big of a threat right now. New severe for 1-inch hail, 50-mile-an-hour winds. So that might be indicating a cell split on this storm. That may be why it's struggling at this moment. Once that cell split succeeds, the southern one should intensify. So this is going to go off to probably be a hail producer very close to the Oklahoma City area. 1-inch hail, about 50-mile-an-hour winds will be possible there. We're going to watch to see if this portion of the storm splits off and moves this way. And this portion of the storm, I'll circle it in a different color. This portion of the storm splits off and moves north. It's what we call a cell split. The left mover, which is there circled in pink, that typically has large hail, isolated damaging winds, and a low tornado threat. The second storm mixed in is the right mover, circled there in the white. Typically, it moves to the east or northeast and has an all hazards threat with it. All right, I'm going to get an analysis radar over the Norman, Oklahoma area. Get the Norman radar site up. It's probably all corruption there. Oh, well, that might just be a hook echo starting up right now. That actually might be a hook echo starting up right now. Yeah, look at that. In the upper levels, quite clear hooks starting. And now it's starting towards the lower levels. So this, either that or it's a cell merge. We'll see. See if the cell merge If it is a cell merge, it's just going to keep moving to the northeast. If it's actually the hook, then it's not just going to keep moving northeast. So maybe starting to get some rotation here. This is going to go right for Bradley. Bradley in Oklahoma. We're going to watch this extremely close here. You may have to go to your safe spot if this hook continues to strengthen at all. So we're going to watch this extremely closely, scan by scan. Again, downstream, it's eventually going to go very close to Norman, Oklahoma. We'll have to see how much it turns. It's currently doing a cell split, so we don't know its exact trajectory. But it's definitely moving northeast, somewhere northeast. So somewhere, it's going to move somewhere in this vicinity. Let's see ZDR. We talk about ZDR arcing, and yeah, very clear ZDR arc right here. New severe. Let's see. Is that a new severe? Yeah, they just put a new severe on top of it because your old one's about to expire. Very slow moving. Northeast at 20 miles per hour, according to the National Weather Service in Norman. I don't know if anybody is on this storm right now. I don't know if anyone is on it at this moment. I know there's a lot of people going towards it. Watch Reed go live and he's just in the hook. I want to see where Reed is. He's going live in 3 minutes. So this potential tornadic storm, if it's not tornadic right now, it should be in the future. It's going to head towards Bradley and then eventually into Purcell or around the Norman area. Nothing imminent, but rotation may be starting to strengthen. The velocities have definitely increased. That's for sure. The velocities have definitely begun to increase. This cell, because of the cell split, it might end up moving more east, Ben. There's a chance it moves more east, which may allow it to miss Norman to the south. Yeah, there is a chance for that. It might change its trajectory slightly. I don't think it would move directly east. Wait for that velocity scan in 20 seconds to see if it's rotating. Whilst we do that, I want to go back to Texas. Still just hail and isolated damaging winds out here. Not very large hail just yet. Most of it is around 1 inch in diameter. Yeah, this is starting to become tornadic here. So we'll need and it's tornado warned. There you go. So it is starting to move dead east. Because of that cell merge.
Tornado warning for northwestern Garvin County in southern Oklahoma, southeastern Grady County in central Oklahoma, southwestern McLean County in central Oklahoma, Garvin, Grady, and McLean County in Oklahoma.
All right, there you go. Yep, so that is indeed an area of rotation starting up with a low precipitation hook echo. So now we have a tornado warning in place out here in Oklahoma. If you're in Bradley, Lindsay, Springs, make sure you're in your safe spot. I believe this is going to stay well south of Norman now. Due to that cell split, due to it splitting here, it's changed trajectory from going northeast to one storm going north and one storm going nearly deadly east. Nearly dead east there. So we're going to continue to watch this area of rotation. It is definitely on a strengthening trend here. And it could touch down at any given second. So this is going to head towards directly for Lindsay. Or Lindsay. I still don't know which one it is. Bradley. And surrounding regions there. Eventually, it's going to head south of Norman. Very close to Purcell, Wayne, Maysville in central Oklahoma. So it's moving currently like this. That's its current exact trajectory. But it's going to shift. It is going to shift around. So not that strong of rotation. Still quite weak. Still pretty broad rotation there. But it is trying to likely drop a tornado. So be in your safe spot if you're in front of this storm. And again, going right towards Lindsay, Bradley, and Oklahoma. So please be in your safe spot. Probably everyone and their mother is about to go onto this storm in Oklahoma. When you get a discrete supercell in Oklahoma in the middle of the day, you can guarantee chaser convergence is going to be extremely, extremely high. So again, make sure you are in your safe spot. Give me just a moment. See exactly where this is located. Alright, I'm gonna switch to the closest chaser we have. He's about 5 minutes away from this. He's about 5 minutes away. Switch over to his feed. So we're going to continue to watch this very, very closely. Tornado could easily drop down at any moment going towards Lindsay. Hook Echo is still present. No CC drop. Nothing that indicates the tornado's on the ground based on a radar at this point. But that doesn't mean it's not on the ground. If it's a weak tornado and not lofting much debris, radar's not going to pick it up. Rotation is still very broad and very weak. Just a very weak couplet right now. Still capable of producing a tornado. Reed is in Oklahoma City. So he's still got quite the ways to go. So once again, make sure you are in your safe spot. Tornado could drop down at any given moment. So if you're in Bradley, Lindsay, Aaron Springs, get to your safe spot. You are in a tornado warning right now. So tornado is imminent or possibly even on the ground. That is what a radar indicated tornado warning means. Trying to see if we have any traffic cams in the area. There's no easy to access traffic cams near this area. That is for sure. It's in Bradley. Rotation's picking up. Rotation is picking up. New mesoscale discussion for the potential of a strong tornado to develop. So now a new mesoscale discussion for up to 3.5-inch hail, up to 80-mile-an-hour winds, and the potential for a few tornadoes, possibly one strong, just got issued across southern Oklahoma. That includes the Oklahoma City metro, the entire metro of Oklahoma City. I'll be able to show you the graphic here in just a few seconds. Once it officially comes out. We get it pretty early on that software. Starting to look a bit better. Actually starting to look a lot better. Starting to look a whole lot better. And now that that cell split is nearly finished, this is beginning to look a lot better. Like it could drop a strong tornado here in the next 30 minutes or so. So please be in your safe spot. If you're in Bradley, Lindsay here in central Oklahoma. Again, this should stay south of the Norman, Oklahoma area. Kaylee, the trolls are in here all the time. Nothing new at all. They have also just issued a even more special mesoscale discussion. They specifically highlighted this storm. So here's the mesoscale discussion from the Storm Prediction Center. And you can see they are specifically highlighting this storm on the warm front. And they do include the Norman and Oklahoma City area in that mesoscale discussion for the greatest threat of all hazards. And on the left side, you can see the peak tornado intensity is indeed up to 120 to 150. So that includes the potential for a strong tornado, as well as destructive hail up to 2.35 inch in diameter, and destructive winds as high as 80 miles per hour, all possible. Unsure if that rotation may be corruption. I definitely want to give it another scan to see if that's actually correct. And it seems like that was not correct, considering that rotation just completely fell apart. So, looks like that rotation is still there. It's just weak. Also, the National Weather Service did officially released their preliminary rating for the St. Louis tornado yesterday. They said a tornado of at least EF3 140 plus mile an hour winds was confirmed, up to 1 mile wide. Up to a mile wide tornado went through the St. Louis area yesterday and was at least low end EF3. So rotation still staying quite broad here. Not very strong at all. Could produce a tornado. If it does, it will likely be on the weaker side of things. But as it moves northeast, it is going to enter a even better environment for the potential of a strong tornado. So please make sure you're in your safe spot if you're in the tornado warning. We're going to continue to watch this storm extremely close here. I'm waiting to get the wording on their discussion here. Severe threat is continuing for tornado watch issuance 279 and is beginning to increase with an isolated supercell ongoing south of Oklahoma City. All hazards are anticipated with this storm, including hail larger than 2-inch in diameter, 65 to 80 mile per hour winds, and tornadoes. Let's see. A strong tornado is possible with the right split of this supercell as it approaches and crosses the I-35 corridor in the next hour or two. So in the next hour or two, we're going to have our strong tornado threat. Likely for the next hour or two. But especially as it finishes this cell split, it looks like it's almost done with that. You can see it's getting that classic butterfly split that we've talked about so much. Hook echo doesn't look nearly as pronounced, but that will probably change here in about 15 minutes. This should try to produce another tornado within the next 30 minutes or so. It's likely starting to recycle. Significant severe for 1.75-inch hail for Bridge Creek, Newcastle, Mustang in Oklahoma. Make sure you guys are at least away from doors and windows. It may be needed to the point where you might want to go to your safe spot because that is quite large hail, especially barely to the west of Bridge Creek in Oklahoma. Definitely getting upwards of 1.75-inch hail there. I do not expect this rotation to be gone for long. It should come back and likely significantly stronger. You could see a very classic ZDR arcing that has occurred here with this storm. That just means that it's going to be capable of producing a tornado again. It's a very well-defined, well-structured, semi-discrete supercell. And it's right now it's latched on the warm front. Because it's no longer moving north, it's now latched onto the warm front. So this storm is going to go north of the warm front. Once it gets into Oklahoma City, its threat for a tornado is going to be very close to zero. Very, very close to zero once it gets north of the, I believe that is the I-40 corridor running through Oklahoma City. But this storm is going to ride that warm front because your warm front is located right in this area. You saw that on the SPC's mesoscale discussion right here. So this storm going towards Oklahoma City is leaving the warm front, likely not going to be able to produce much of a tornadic threat. But our cell split that is moving east right in here, it is latched onto that warm front. That warm front's going to keep lifting north as well, very slowly. So it's latched directly onto that warm front and is moving generally east, maybe slightly northeast. That's probably at least some corruption, but this is definitely going to start to intensify very quickly. Very, very quickly going to try to produce a tornado here in the next 15 minutes or so. Yeah, still staying very weak with that rotation, so just give it a little bit more time and it is going to recycle. And again, this is going towards Lindsay, Aaron Springs, and then eventually this is going to head towards Purcell, Wayne, and maybe just barely north of Whitebread and near the Maysville area over the next hour or so. So it's going to keep moving just like this. So it should stay, as long as it doesn't wiggle, which it is possible that it wiggles, it should stay just barely to the north of Maysville and go very close to Purcell and Wayne in about an hour or so. Still a significant severe in place for 1.75 inch hail. Very close to and just to the northwest of Bridge Creek in Oklahoma. Make sure you are at least away from doors and windows. I wouldn't be against going to your safe spot just in case. It would not be a bad idea to go to your safe spot just in case this is trying to produce 1.75 inch hail. And it's likely producing right around that mark too, because that hail core is getting stronger. Every scan that's starting to get stronger. All right, let's go back down to our right mover down here. You can see that the hook has fully occluded. But like I said, it's not going to stay occluded for too long. It should be around 6 p.m. Eastern, about 13 or so minutes from now. This is going to likely try to begin to rotate again. Right now, Norman's looking good. I think the right mover is going to stay to the south of Norman. And I think the left mover is going to stay to the west of Norman. So right now, you got pretty lucky. There was a storm heading right towards Norman, and one split to the northwest, and one has split to the east, southeast. So Norman may not get much more than just some heavy rain. Originally, I thought this storm was going to go, and it was aimed directly for Norman. I mean, it was aimed directly to Norman, Oklahoma. And then it split off, and the right mover began to move to the right, east, and the left mover began to move to the northwest. This is a case of a classic cell split right here. This is exactly how a cell split looks. Very classic. Your left mover moves off to the north-northeast, and that produces large hail, damaging winds, very little tornado threat. The east mover, the right mover, supercell there, tries to produce all hazards, and it will try to produce a tornado, likely again very close to the Wayne, Maysville, or Purcell area, somewhere in here. It should try again. It already attempted to the southwest of Bradley. This is where it attempted southwest of Bradley. From what I know, it failed. I didn't see any observed warning. I didn't see any chasers report any tornado on the ground or nothing like that. And now it should try again near Maysville, Wayne, Purcell, somewhere in here. Just somewhere in here. It's hard to say exactly where, because this is latched onto the warm front, so the storm could shift quite a bit. It can shift a little bit north, a little south, or a little bit northeast. Severe storm still in place in southern Vermont, extreme east central New York there. Still a significant severe, now for actually 2-inch hail in south central Arkansas near the Crossell area. Lake Providence on the border of Louisiana, Mississippi under a severe for 1-inch hail, 60-mile-an-hour winds. Texas still looking good for a very low tornado threat. Just big-time hail at the moment, likely greater than 1 inch in diameter, especially on this storm going towards Mineral Wells, Texas. And we will keep an eye on some of these for a low tornado threat in the future. But our main concern is this storm over Lindsay right now. Is still likely not producing a tornado. It's likely going to take a bit longer until it fully recycles. It is a very, very classic supercell, though. I would be shocked if it doesn't try again. Especially in the volatile environment it is in. I would be very shocked if it doesn't try again. Still moving east at just 15 miles per hour, so it's a very slow moving cell here. I'm going to watch very closely on the southern side of this for a hook to try to occur. Just checking a few other things, see if we got anything new. Okay. A new severe there into the western side of the Oklahoma City metro for 1.75 inch hail. That's what I thought it was. 1.75 inch hail, golf ball sized hail, and around 50-mile-an-hour winds for the next 38 minutes as this storm moves up into Oklahoma City, Piedmont, Oklahoma, Bethany, and eventually Edmond, Oklahoma over the next 40 minutes. Make sure you're indoors, away from doors and windows, and like I said before, it wouldn't be a bad idea to go to your safe spot, just in case that larger hail of around 1.75 inch in diameter does end up hitting you. It is a significant severe for Oklahoma City. See if any rotation ramps up. It's definitely going to be attempting to ramp up here very, very soon. The longer this storm takes to ramp up, the better chance we have of storm chasers getting a great visual of it. Because a few chasers were quite behind due to this storm not being expected whatsoever today. It blew up out of nowhere. I doubt it's going to do another cell split. I highly doubt it. I highly doubt it's going to do another cell split. I'm watching right over Lindsay right now. It looks like this is trying its best to start rotating again. You can see the green and red beginning to increase just a little bit. So it looks like it's attempting to rotate again. No model picked this up, Kaylee. Not a single one. Not a single one picked up this this supercell forming. Yep, May being May in Oklahoma. That is what we are worried about tomorrow, is that storms fire along the dry line. Right now, nearly every model except for the HRRR doesn't show storms initiating off the dry line tomorrow. But if storms do initiate tomorrow off the dry line, we're going to have a strong to intense tornado threat. All right, yeah, this is probably attempting to drop a tornado here just west of Lindsay in Oklahoma. It is probably attempting to drop a tornado. Still radar indicated there for Lindsay. It may be attempting to drop a tornado just to the west of town. So please be in your safe spot in Lindsay. If this continues to rotate, we will see a downstream tornado warning likely into Maysville. So again, tornado warning is active here for Lindsay, Oklahoma. Tornado warning means a tornado is imminent or possibly even on the ground. So you need to be in your safe spot if you're in Lindsay, Oklahoma. Also, our southern storm here in Oklahoma seems to be strengthening again. North of Durant, Oklahoma. It's in an okay environment. It's not in the best wind sheared environment, but it's in an okay environment. Yeah, you can see this hook has returned. Your hook echo is located right there, just west of Lindsay, Oklahoma. It is attempting to really start rotating again. You can see the red and green pixels there. Not very strong rotation right now, so that's good news. Not strong rotation at all. Looks like it just fell apart on that new scan, so it's continuing to try to rotate. It's trying its best. 1 to 1.25 inch hail reported west as well as northwest of Bridge Creek in Oklahoma. Could get up to 1.75 inch hail out of this hail core here, heading directly into Mustang and then eventually directly to Bethany in central Oklahoma. That is barely on the west side of Oklahoma City. Still a very sharp ZDR arcing here. Very obvious ZDR arcing. As long as we maintain that, this storm is going to continue to try and be tornadic. Also, what is that? Oh, I can't see it. Let me go back a frame. 1.25 inch hail reported on this storm. That's for your hail core, which is now located actually northeast of Lindsay in Oklahoma. Huh. I feel like if we do get a new hook, it's going to be on the forward flank of the supercell, the east-southeast flank of it, back out in this area. It would push out just like that. I kind of don't feel like it would be back here anymore. I feel like it would be more in front, right at the hail core. Now a PDS severe thunderstorm warning for observed 2.75 inch hail for Bethany, the Village, Piedmont, and Edmond in Oklahoma. This includes the west metro of Oklahoma City. This is a potentially life-threatening situation with baseball-sized hail falling, so please make sure you are indoors away from doors and windows, and preferably in your safe spot with how large of hail is falling. Very, very large hail there. Likely that is 2.75 inch hail falling directly in or barely east of Mustang in central Oklahoma. I'm really, really curious to see where the hook may form here. You can see a boundary has been released on the hook, or not on the hook, but on the main flank, southeast flank of our supercell here. I really don't feel like this is the area of interest anymore. There's still a little rotation there and a little hook left over. Just a littlest bit there. Littlest bit. There you go. English is difficult. See if Reed's in Oklahoma City. If he's in Oklahoma City, he not gonna be having. Well, it is Reed. He's probably having a blast if he's getting baseball-sized hail. Let's see where he is. He's right on the edge of it. So he's booking it south away from the baseballs. He don't want to break a windshield today. This is probably dropping very close to 2-inch hail now. I imagine this this east moving supercell, our main right mover, is likely dropping around 2-inch hail as well. I think it's a little bit less than our left split, which is going through, let's see, I got to get the town name again. Mustang, going through Mustang. I think it's less than that, but I still think it's around 2-inch hail likely occurring west of Wayne in central Oklahoma. All right, Connor Croft did go live. He's in between both of these storms. I'm curious to see which one he's going to go for. He's going for the one that just got extended for a tornado warning. So now a tornado warning into Wayne. White bead. I think I said white bread before. That's like white bead. Maysville and central Oklahoma. This is going to stay south of Purcell. It's moving even more east again.
Tornado warning for northwestern Garvin County in southern Oklahoma, south central McLean County in central Oklahoma, Garvin, and McLean County in Oklahoma.
So there you go. New tornado warning in place for this storm. This is one our chaser Connor Croft is going for. He's still very well south. I'd say he's still about 45 minutes away from this storm. So he likely won't see it until about an hour from now. He's still quite far from it. Yeah, not strong rotation or really any rotation on this storm. But they do believe if there is going to be a hook, it's going to form on the southeast flank of this storm as opposed to where the previous hook was, still to the northwest of Lindsay in Oklahoma. What is the hail tag for this? I doubt there is 0.75 inch hail. I would be shocked if this is only dropping 0.75 inch hail. I would be utterly shocked if this is dropping only 0.75 inch hail. It's likely much closer to 2 inch in diameter. Still a destructive severe for Bethany and Oklahoma City, the west side of Oklahoma City. At least make sure you are indoors, away from doors and windows, but it would not be a bad idea to get to your safe spot just in case. Looks like a hook is starting to appear here. If this does drop a tornado, it's going to be a very close call for Maysville, Oklahoma. The severe is for 1.5 inch hail, which also includes where the tornado warning is, where the hail core is. So, tornado warning is for 0.75 inch hail. Severe is for 1.5 inch hail. I still think both of those are underdoing the actual hail size of this storm. 1.25-inch hail reported in Mustang. Actually, 1.75 and 1.25-inch hail reported in Mustang. That main hail core is about to go right into Bethany. It's aimed right into Bethany, Oklahoma. So, Bethany, Oklahoma, preferably get to your safe spot. It is a destructive, severe for 2.75-inch hail. A very small severe watch was just issued out here for a few storms that have fired for the potential of 2-inch hail, 70-mile-an-hour winds out in southeast Arkansas, west central Mississippi, and northeastern Louisiana. Very tiny severe watch there. Still not much of a rotation here. Not much of a lower level response or much rotation with this storm. We're still very close to the radar. Well, actually, yeah, we're getting a little far, but we're still where this radar scan is going to be very accurate. I would not be shocked if rotation rapidly increases where this hook is trying to form in Maysville, Oklahoma. It would not surprise me one bit if rotation rapidly develops on this. Let me see. Yeah, there's a chaser that is on this road here, so if a tornado does develop, that chaser will be able to see it. But there's not a lot of rotation right now, despite the good look the supercell has, and a very classic look at that. A very classic look for a supercell. Extremely classic. I'll try to remember the meso analysis. It's coming in here in about 8 minutes or so. Yeah. I'll keep an eye on it. For sure, definitely want to watch this storm. Only tornado warning active is on this cell. There's a small split happening here, but it's not nearly as major as the one we had earlier. Not even close. 1-inch hail report in the hail core of this storm. I imagine that hail is probably bigger at this point. They reported that right when the pixels got over them at quarter-sized hail. It's likely a bit bigger now. Hard to see if much of an upper level mesocyclone's there, but I'm sure it's got a mesocyclone with it, just probably not a very organized wall cloud. Look at that. That is a crazy hook. That is a crazy hook with not much rotation. So we'll keep watching it. Reed is starting to get through the hail core here, so he's right on the interstate. Right on the interstate going south, southeast. All right, let's go check further south again towards the Dallas area. Well, that's a very interesting storm structure. Almost looks like a completely weirdly placed hook echo right there. But no rotation being spotted on that from the radar. Still warned for 2.75 inch hail for Bethany. Make sure you're preferably in your safe spot there, Bethany, Oklahoma. Maybe some velocities trying to come together here, just to the southwest of Maysville. I'm shocked we don't have strong rotation. I think that lower level wind shear is really helping us here. That lower level wind shear not being so strong. It's still sufficient, though. It is still very sufficient. It's actually increased again. Newest meso analysis has that at 206 now. I'm not too sure why this isn't rotating strong right now. There's really no reason for it to not be rotating quite strong right now. So I'm pretty shocked. I'm quite shocked this is not rotating strongly right now. Oh my goodness. An elevated thunderstorm only occurs when temperature and dew point spreads are around or greater than 20 degrees between both in Fahrenheit. The temperature is 86. The dew point is 77. That is 9. That is 9. This thing is not elevated. If it was fully elevated, it wouldn't even be tornado warned. And even if it is elevated, elevated storms can still rotate. It's still very possible for them to rotate. Let's see here. Okay. Still very weak rotation. I don't think it's enough to drop a tornado right now, but man, it's got to be getting close. Definitely an upper level mesocyclone present. I am shocked this is not producing a strong area of rotation, y'all. You could see how classic it is, so I was definitely correct with it getting to tornadic status there, but I was wrong with it posing a strong tornado threat at the moment. I thought it would be a lot stronger rotation than what it is right now. Still very weak rotation there. Inverted, this is an elevated thunderstorm. Take notes, will you? Since you just call everything elevated, take notes. This is an elevated thunderstorm. If you go on observations, which you've never been on once your life because you just scream elevated for everything, the temperature is 78, the dew point is 51. That is an elevated thunderstorm. That is 27 degree in temperature dew point spread. That's elevated. This is not. This is north of the warm front, which means it's north of the best environment for all hazards. This is on the warm front, or maybe even still south. So therefore, it's going to pose all hazards and likely all significant hazards. Alright, I'm timing you out. I'm sick of you. Bye-bye. You're getting on my nerves. Let's go back down here to Texas. So we're going to keep watching this storm east of Morgan in Texas. I don't think it's rotating. It's still producing likely around 1-inch hail and 60-mile-an-hour winds, but I don't think it's really rotating to become tornadic. This might be a bit more of a large hail threat if it can get its act together. But it's moving northeast like this, so... Man, Dallas, you might be fully spared today. You might be completely spared today. These storms are already way too clustered. Literally this morning, models showed like literally the chance for 4 to 5-inch hail moving through the Dallas area. And now, I don't even know if you're going to get much more than heavy rain. This might be a complete big underperformance for Dallas, which is never a bad thing. It's never a bad thing, but just the way models were handling today, I thought we were going to get a very rough day in Dallas. I don't understand how the heck this is not how the heck this is not rotating as a strong area of rotation. I just don't know. What does the SPC say in their watch for Dallas? Let me see. It's literally a double high probability watch for Dallas. 4-inch hail likely for the Dallas area on that severe thunderstorm watch. It is a double high for hail. And man, is it ever underperforming a lot. It's still a little rotation, but I am shocked how weak velocities are on that. If you sent me a screenshot of this and not velocity, I would be pretty surprised to not hear it's not on the ground. Because literally, this is classic. You've got a short outflow boundary. You've got a huge clear slot. You have a very pronounced hail core in the base of the supercell. And you obviously have your classic supercell structure. I don't know how this thing is not rotating. It checks every box. Oh, well, it may be starting to really rotate now. That's the strongest it's been in like 30 minutes. I mean, literally, look, that is the definition of a classic supercell right there. New tornado warning, probably an extension. Yep. And it's also, well, now it's starting to move more southeast. That might be one of the reasons why it's not rotating as much.
Tornado warning for northeastern Garvin County in southern Oklahoma, north central Murray County in southern Oklahoma, Garvin, and Murray County in Oklahoma.
That might be why it's not, like, rapidly rotating. Most favorable direction for tornadoes is east and barely northeast moving supercells. The least favorable direction, I think, is like west or southwest. At least here in the northern hemisphere. Let's go back over here. So, new tornado warning for the city of Pauls Valley in south central Oklahoma. Also, the PDS severe was dropped. It is still warned for 1.75-inch hail, but it has been dropped and is no longer a destructive severe. It was 2.75, now it's 1.75. So still worth being indoors away from doors and windows. And again, wouldn't it be a bad idea to get to your safe spot just in case? Because that hail is still quite large. Like, dude, that is a very classic supercell. Wow. Let's see how long. Paul's Valley. New tornado warning is for over 12,500 people. It's for 11 schools and one hospital as well. Rotation is trying its hardest. Its absolute hardest to increase. It is trying extremely hard to increase in rotation. Looks like we are getting a very small cell split still. So this up here is your cell split again, with this being your classic supercell right in here. Oops, let me do a different color. I guess we'll just do this color here. That being your classic supercell. Just a little cell split, but nothing like what we had before. Alright, I'm gonna go get a chaser up. Let's see. I'm pretty sure Reed should be, like, under this storm right now. Yeah, that's definitely trying to drop. Yeah, Reed's got a good visual of it. Really trying to tighten up right in front of him. That velocity couplet is finally getting quite a bit more strong now. We're up to about almost 60 mile an hour rotation there. Yeah, if you go to Reed Timmer's live stream, which I'm not going to show because I haven't asked him at all, the whole base is rotating. There's no very well defined area of like a funnel trying to drop or anything, but the entire base is rotating. I don't see a very well defined area though of like a funnel trying to come down or anything like that. But it's definitely attempting to develop. So this is going to go right over White Bead. That's how I'm going to pronounce it. White Bead in south central Oklahoma. It's going right over that area right now. In about 10 or so minutes from now, it's going to go right through Pauls Valley, Oklahoma. Connor Croft is maybe 15 minutes away from this storm. Yeah, now getting to almost strong rotation there. That is up to about 80 mile an hour rotation. That's still, actually, correction. That's still a little bit on the weaker side. 110 mile an hour rotation is considered strong, so it's very close to strong. It's about 30 away. by definition. Oh yeah, you can really see it. You can see the inflow cut. Yep, Brian just drew it out on Reed Timmer's stream there. It is rapidly rotating now. Wow. Very photogenic mesocyclone there, too. Connor Croft is, like I said, about 15 minutes away from it. So if this decides to occlude at any moment and then tries to produce for its third time attempting to produce, this one would be near Paul's Valley and Connor Croft would be able to get a visual on it. Yeah, so Connor is almost in Stratford. So he's like right there going west, and this is a highway, so he can go at least 55. So he will be right in this area in probably about 15 or so minutes. And considering the storm is going to keep moving, he's going to be very close to an intercept spot in 15, maybe 20 minutes. Reed never changed, calling this a major mesocyclone. I mean, it is a pretty good mesocyclone. I think the one in that Lucky had the other day in North Carolina was a major mesocyclone. That thing looked even crazier than what Reed has right now here in Oklahoma. I gotta get them views, TRG. He's always been like, though, over exaggerating things. He's always been like that. But I mean, I'm just I try to be a little bit more careful with saying stuff like that. Like Reed calling a little tiny rope a wedge tornado before. I've seen that one. It is really trying to drop on Reed's stream. It's probably getting ready to try to drop a funnel at this point. It's getting very close to trying to drop a funnel. Because you can see it. You can see the funnel like, and I mean funnel is in not like a tornado funnel, but the different type of funnel, the shape funnel. You can see that on both edges, the left edge and the right edge of the wall cloud, which is trying to drop a funnel. All right, Reed has a tornado on the ground now. Tornado is on the ground according to Reed, and he's got a tornado right in front of him, lofting debris. So this is a tornado on the ground now, according to Reed Timmer. If you go to Reed Timmer's feed right now on YouTube, he's got a vortice right now that is lofting debris up into the atmosphere, and a whole lot of dirt being lofted into the atmosphere. So this is now a tornado on the ground here, northwest of Pauls Valley in Oklahoma. Looks pretty weak. Definitely not fully consolidated. It's just that big upper base. He's in it. He's literally in it. Wow. It's just astounding how he's always on this, and astounding. That's what I was looking for. Astounding. Just astounding. Wow. It's very weak at the moment. Very weak at the moment. Oops. Valley. So there you go. There's the rotation. Up to almost 90 mile an hour rotation there, so that's very close to strong rotation. He's just a big time tornado on the ground. Ooh, now you can see the funnel. And now it's trying to fully consolidate. Now it's really trying to fully consolidate there. So tornado on the ground here, heading towards Pauls Valley, Oklahoma. It's very close to fully consolidating. If it does fully consolidate, this will try its best to become a strong tornado. It's almost fully consolidated. It's a huge funnel with a debris cloud, which means it is a tornado on the ground. So there is indeed a tornado on the ground here. I think it's going to stay. This thing is moving a lot. Like it's moved a lot of different directions. It looks like it might stay north of Pauls Valley now. It looks like it may stay north of Pauls Valley, Oklahoma. So just make sure you're in your safe spot. Pauls Valley tornado on the ground. We saw it from Reed Timmer's feed. It is still on the ground, still trying to consolidate. It may have fully consolidated. It's hard to see. It's rain wrapped, so it's hard to see if it's fully consolidated there. But it's very close to fully consolidating. It's just a bit difficult to tell towards the bottom of it due to it being rain wrapped. All right, now an observed tornado warning. All right, this storm west of Fort Worth indeed did intensify up to 1.75-inch hail. Now warned there, so make sure you are indoors, away from doors and windows. Jacksboro, Bridgeport, Texas. Make sure you're in your safe spot, or make sure you're away from doors and windows, but it wouldn't hurt to be in your safe spot. You don't have to be in your safe spot. It's not tornado warned or anything like that. It wouldn't be a bad idea to be in your safe spot with that large of hail falling. Smallest little area of a debris signature there. Very small area of a debris signature. I wouldn't call it debris if I didn't know Reed has it on the ground, so that is a very small CC. If we didn't have confirmation from the National Weather Service and Reed Timmer, I wouldn't call that a CC, but we're going to call that a CC drop due to it literally being on the ground. According to Reed Timmer, and we've seen it on the ground. Let's see here. All right, so oh, look at that. Very tight couplet. Very tight, very gate to gate. I don't think this will last very long with how small those pixels are. Typically, these don't last very long when they're small pixels like this. So we'll see. Trying to see if Reed has anything, y'all. It's all so much rain wrapped. So much rain. Everyone knows Reed Timmer, man. Everyone knows Reed Timmer. They're all. I just saw a bunch of people start waving to him. Everyone knows him. Dude. Yeah, this is likely very close to lifting. It is extremely close to lifting. So this will likely lift very shortly, and it will probably attempt to produce another tornado closer to Stratford, likely a little bit more east northeast of Pauls Valley. Right now, it is likely still on the ground, but probably very weak. Probably very weak. Dude. Just insane how classic this storm looked. Now it looks like it's not as classic. It's probably starting to occlude there. The hook's probably beginning to occlude, as well as the tornado. Yeah, no longer CC there, so likely the tornado is about to lift. May have already lifted. I wonder if that's a new mesocyclone that Reed has forming. Reed might have a new area rotation starting to form right in front of him. Might be a new area trying to develop right in front of Reed. Yeah, I don't think it's on the ground anymore. But yeah, we'll see. This might be trying to redevelop nearly instantly. So we'll keep keeping an eye on this storm again. Confirmed tornado. Just barely north of Pauls Valley, Oklahoma. I don't think it's on the ground anymore. But it was definitely on the ground a couple of minutes ago. Well, 3 chasers 1 minute ago just said tornadoes on the ground, but I have a feeling that was from, like I said, just a few minutes ago. So there you go. This storm probably won't stop trying to produce a tornado anytime soon. This will likely be a long-lived supercell for the next few hours. At minimum, the next 2 hours at the least. The HRRR is wrong. The HRRR has it getting north of the warm front, east of Oklahoma City, in about an hour and a half. Well, we'll see if this somehow starts to take a northern turn like this. Then we'll know it's going to die out shortly. But this is still moving east-southeast, so it should continue to try to produce a tornado over the next at least hour or two. Man, a lot of people saw this tornado. Like I said, it's Oklahoma and a discrete storm. Everyone and their mothers on it. Let's see here. This, yeah, it was a small rope. Um, it was attempting to get bigger, but I didn't ever see it get fully consolidated on the ground. It was attempting to get towards a stovepipe. If it did fully consolidate, it was a stovepipe. Just a smaller stovepipe, not a very large one. So there might have been a point where it got to a stovepipe. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, rotation's fully dissipated. This is likely fully lifted now. I don't think there's any chance this is on the ground. But it's likely going to attempt to produce another tornado as it goes towards Stratford. This thing has moved all types of direction. It has moved northeast, dead northeast, then east, then dead southeast, and now it looks like it's trying to move east again. I think that is a new tornado warning. Yep, new radar indicated tornado warning. Still confirmed for 2 more minutes though, and then we'll switch on over. Come on. Where's the beep? There you go.
Tornado warning for northeastern Garvin County in southern Oklahoma, northwestern Pontotoc County in east central Oklahoma, southeastern McLean County in central Oklahoma, Garvin, McLean, and Pontotoc County in Oklahoma.
If you want to know how fast storms die out once they get well north of the warm front, here's a good example in Oklahoma. Look how rapidly this destructive severe died out right after exiting Bethany in Oklahoma. It rapidly died out. It did drop 2.25-inch hail on the southeast side of Bethany in central Oklahoma. But once it got well north of the warm front, it fully died out. Once it hit that significantly less instability. There was still like 3,000, 2,000, 3,000 cape over Norman and, or not Norman, over like Bethany. There was still like 2,000 or so cape. But once you got north of Bethany, that dropped to about 200 or less. So you went from about 2 to 3K in and south of Bethany to right about 200 north of Bethany, north of that warm front. Want to go back down to Texas whilst that next scan comes through. Dallas, I mean, like I said, other than just some heavy rain, I think you guys are going to be fully clear. There may be another chance for storms behind this. I don't think so. I don't think there's going to be another chance for storms behind this, at least in Texas. Now, in Oklahoma, there is the chance for redevelopment, or rather more development of thunderstorms along the dry line in western Oklahoma. Tonight, likely around or just after 8 p.m. Eastern. But those will most likely not go near the Dallas area. Very weak, very broad rotation here in central Oklahoma, going into south central Oklahoma now. No longer an observed warning. We're down to radar indicated. Let's go over to Connor Crop, our storm chaser. Connor Croft, third link in the description if you want to go watch this feed. He is currently right in between Paul's Valley and Stratford, looking at the Hook Echo. That is your large mesocyclone there, with very rapid inflow. Really, really obvious inflow there on the right side of your screen. So this is still attempting to develop a tornado. So that is why they've continued this radar indicated tornado warning. I think it will have a really good chance to produce once it gets towards Stratford in south central Oklahoma. I think it will have a much better opportunity to produce in south central Oklahoma there as it gets towards Stratford. Just not destructive, my bad. Considerable severe now for wind in Bridgeport. So they dropped the hail threat to 1.5 inch in diameter, but the wind threat has gone to 70 miles per hour in Bridgeport in central Texas. So make sure you're at least away from doors and windows there, preferably if you want to go to your safe spot, especially if you think it's starting to get bad. I would recommend going to your safe spot. A weak rotation moving into western Mississippi on a supercell currently to the south of Lake Providence, Louisiana. So this is on the Louisiana-Mississippi border where there's weak rotation now being detected by the Jackson, Mississippi radar site. I don't think that's going to do anything, but it is indeed a supercell just barely south of Lake Providence, Louisiana, moving towards Redwood, Mississippi. That wall cloud that Connor is now turning away from, that was and still is our tornado warm storm here going towards Stratford in south central Oklahoma. A new severe thunderstorm warning here in southeast Oklahoma for Caney for One-Inch hail, 60-mile-an-hour winds. That's the one that Connor Croft was on, but he eventually just gave up on it because it just looked too weak. Now it's starting to re-intensify, but it's still nowhere even remotely close to as intense as what this supercell is up here, going into the Stratford area in central Oklahoma. We have really no good guess of when this is going to die out. No good model runs. No good model runs at all for this storm. None of them have portrayed it well at all. Connor Croft says it's a classic look of a one-hit wonder, meaning it drops one tornado and then dies out. I'm not too sure about that, honestly. This storm still looks extremely capable of producing a tornado to me. I don't see anything environment-wise limiting it. So there's no reason for this not to continue for at least the next hour or two. At least till 8 p.m. Eastern. No reason for this to not just keep on going. All right, let's see. Our environment will get a little bit less favorable, especially wind shear wise. It will get considerably less favorable as this storm goes. Let's see, what county is that? I believe that's Colgate. Isn't that like a freaking toothpaste? Right? Isn't that a toothpaste? But as it goes into around Colgate, that's when your environment gets a lot less favorable. So from Stratford all the way to Colgate, this is still going to be a supercell attempting to produce all hazards. Oklahoma over here with a toothpaste name. Spelled differently, I believe. Or is it? I want to look it up. See if it's spelled the same. Nope. There's no A in the toothpaste. For it's not coal as in like, you know, what you get in your stocking if you're not good for Christmas. It's spelled C-O-L, not C-O-A-L for the toothpaste. So it's more like, yeah, it's still Colgate. Still pronounced the exact same way. There's just no A in the coal part. Man, Dallas, you have really escaped a big risk today. It was a very favorable environment for extremely large hail over the Dallas area. A very favorable environment. Let me see the lapse rates. Well, now it's actually significantly less favorable now. So mid-level lapse rates were at 8 when these storms first fired. Lower level lapse rates were at like 9.5. So actually, these storms have moved into a significantly less favorable environment for large hail. Now, these have moved into a significantly less favorable environment. This is still in a good environment for damaging winds as well as isolated very large hail near 2-inch in diameter. If it can strengthen a little bit more. Tornado-wise, it is not in that good of an environment.
Tornado warning for southwestern
There
Atoka
you go.
County in southeastern Oklahoma, Atoka County in Oklahoma.
I was wondering if they were going to do that. It was very difficult to tell if this storm was rotating. It just looks like contamination to me. But they have gone ahead and tornado warned the storm that Connor left. Connor's up here in Stratford now. So new tornado warning for Caney, Oklahoma. Make sure you are in your safe spot. Let me see. All right. I want to go to... Trying to figure out where to go here. I guess I'll look at mesoanalysis. This storm... Oh, that's what I was going to do. The Durant, Oklahoma radar site. Yeah. That's what I was trying to do. I just remembered it. I was like, what was I trying to do? I forgot. Let's see. I know this site's hard to find. Let's see. This might be it. Aha, I got it. Yeah, it has velocity on the radar app, but I don't have that. It doesn't look extremely tornadic with just reflectivity. Nothing like our classic supercell in Stratford. But that storm still is capable of producing a tornado. The environment, though, is just so much less favorable. Like, it is significantly less favorable for a tornado threat there in the Caney area. The environment is just so much less favorable. I think I saw it, but it kind of just left. It just really left. I'm gonna put this in one of the group chats I have for weather, so that way when we need it again, because we may need it as soon as tomorrow or Monday. Okay. All right. Still weak rotation on our tornado warning here in Stratford, in central Oklahoma. It's still going to attempt to ramp back up. We'll see how it goes. But the more east it moves, the less favorable the environment gets, especially as it goes into this county over here. This is where your environment is substantially less favorable. I mean, yeah, this week's going to continue to be active for severe weather all the way through Wednesday. After Wednesday, I don't think we're going to see much. Thursday is very minimal. Friday might be a low end severe threat. Saturday looks minimal. And then all of next week looks like nothing. Looks like a very inactive late May. But still could have some small mesoscale features that end up increasing our tornado threat. In late May, it's still definitely possible, but no widespread significant severe threats like, for instance, yesterday or Monday. Doesn't look like anything that big. Yeah, this tornado in Canny, or not tornado, my bad. Tornado warned storm. This tornado warned storm in Canny, Oklahoma. It doesn't look impressive on radar, either from this main radar from Oklahoma City looking at it, or from the Durant, Oklahoma radar site. Neither of them look impressive, so still, it is possible it produces a very weak, brief tornado, but I'm not very concerned about it. Just make sure you are in your safe spot, though, because it is tornado warned. Let me go back up here. Yeah, so we'll keep watching this tornado warning here in central Oklahoma. We'll see if maybe Connor was right. Maybe this was just a one and done, supercell. I wouldn't say we're cooked on Monday, but I would say Monday is definitely moderate risk caliber. Very easily moderate risk caliber for Monday. Tomorrow, I think, is too conditional. We could possibly, if other models, unlike the HRRR or more model runs, like the HRRR is what I should say, start to initiate on the dry line in Oklahoma, we could see the 10 sig tour stretched into central Oklahoma. We also have the chance for some big time hailers in the Dallas area tomorrow too. But that didn't go too well today, so we'll see if it happens tomorrow. There's a lot of uncertainty tomorrow on where storms will fire outside of Kansas. If I show you tomorrow's risk, there's a lot of uncertainty in this area here on how many storms will fire and if storms will fire. So if confidence increases, we could see that enhanced risk for tornadoes dragged southward, and maybe even a enhanced risk as far south as Dallas for large hail going into Texas. But personally, I can't speak today. Personally, I don't see the enhanced risk being pushed any more south because it's too conditional. I think it's too conditional for an enhanced risk in central Oklahoma for tornadoes and too conditional for a significant hail risk for an enhanced risk there in the Dallas area. I don't know how Tuesday's looking, just to be straightforward with you. It is very iffy, in my opinion. Most models initiate very far west of the enhanced risk on Tuesday. So I don't really know. I know strong tornadoes will be possible. I know 70-mile-an-hour winds will be possible. And I know large hail up to 2-inch in diameter will be possible. Any greater hazards than that, or exactly where, is very uncertain in my opinion. We'll just have to see as we get closer. It's also going to depend on how Monday plays out, too, on what happens on Tuesday. Man, the NAM is insane for Monday. For tomorrow, I don't know. That's tricky. I would probably go for like. I think I would go for the conditional threat in OKC. I think I would go for that. I think I would go for Oklahoma City for the conditional threat of all hazards. If that looks extremely unlikely, then I would go for just west of Wichita Falls. But man, the NAM has no severe weather tomorrow in pretty much everywhere except for Nebraska and extreme northern Kansas. It has no severe weather in central southern Kansas and anywhere in Oklahoma. And then it does have a few storms in central Texas, but nothing crazy at all. Monday, ooh, that's more tricky. That's tricky. There's still uncertainty on where storms will fire on Monday exactly. But I would probably go with, like, maybe Tulsa. There's two target areas. I would either go Tulsa. It just depends on how model runs change. I would either go to Wichita, Kansas, or I would go to Tulsa, Oklahoma. It just depends on which way convective trends go. Yeah, I don't think they're going to continue that warning past 26 minutes. If not, they may even cancel that out there for Caney, Oklahoma. It fell apart faster than it did before. Yep, depends on the timing of the trough. That's what it depends on. I would I would bet more on going into Tulsa. I would bet going more into Tulsa. Let's see. Does an AM3K have 500 millibar? Oh, it does. Okay. Yeah, you could see a band of jet trim on the NAM 3K over Tulsa, but it just doesn't initiate. Yeah, that would be tough. I would definitely go for Tulsa though, because that has a much higher chance of discrete storm mode. We'll wait to see if this storm ramps up. Uh, I'm looking at tomorrow's event now. Yeah, the RAP model has a easy target. Not even close. Tulsa, Oklahoma by a millennium. Not even close. For Monday. Okay. Yeah, and tomorrow, like I said, it's more conditional on the dry line, but I would probably still go for Central Oklahoma. I don't honestly. There is that conditional threat in OKC, but Western Nebraska looks a lot better. Western Nebraska looks a whole lot better. Oh, never mind. Pretty much zero moisture. Never mind. High 40s, low 50 dew points. I'm skipping. Never mind. I would go for OKC tomorrow. Ben, the first hurricane probably ain't gonna form for multiple more months, buddy. Probably not till like July or August. Those are really, you have those 3 main months: August, the end of July, all of August, all of September, and then into the beginning of October. Overall, for about a full like 90 days, where you have the absolute highest chance for hurricanes. Let's see. Waters are cold. I wouldn't exactly say 85 degrees Fahrenheit is cold. I mean, I know you live in Texas, but 85 degrees Fahrenheit is not really that cold, to be honest with you. At least in my opinion. I wouldn't call 85 degrees cold. Maybe I'm just a bit more of a wimp with temperatures. I definitely am. Poor Connor Croft, man. He's been behind like 3 different people who are just instantly brake and stop in the middle of the road. Like, come on. I'm yet to do that for any of my chases. I've never stopped in the middle of the road ever. I've never parked on the shoulder. I've never parked in like a little bit on the grass. I've never stopped in the middle of the road when chasing. All right, so this may be attempting to try again here, just to the southwest of Stratford. Might be attempting to get that cup a little bit tighter. This is corruption over Stratford. Don't worry about that. This is what we're paying attention to. This little area of red and gray right here near the hook is what we're paying attention to for an area of interest for a tornado to try to drop. But like I mentioned before, the more east this moves, the less favorable the environment gets. Sorry, I was reading something. I apologize. No, I don't think it has a strong tornado threat anymore. It's moving outside of its best environment. Yeah. I don't believe it has a chance for a strong tornado anymore. So we'll keep watching that area of weak rotation right now. Going just barely to the south of Stratford. Yeah, someone just said there's rapid rotation on that storm, so it's probably going to attempt again. So keep an eye on that. If you are in Stratford, Oklahoma, make sure you're in your safe spot. This is going to attempt to drop a tornado here pretty soon. So please be in your safe spot. Listening to a chaser. Yeah, so this has the chance to drop a tornado very, very shortly here. New supercells firing in Texas. Yeah, if you're thinking a tornado threat with them, yeah, that's going to be nearly impossible. Now that atmosphere is being capped out. They are in a pretty good spot, though, I gotta admit. They have fired in not a horrible spot. Let me see, which ones? Yeah, we'll see. They could die out at any given second. I'm a little 50-50 on them. All right, let's go back to our supercell. Doesn't look very strong on radar. Still trying to rotate, but it's pretty weak. Memphis is fine today. Yeah, chasers are saying this might be about to produce here, so this is trying its best to drop a tornado again. So rapid rotation with this cell. We're going to continue to monitor it closely. Make sure you are in your safe spot in Stratford, in Oklahoma. A little bit downstream, this is going to go towards Center and then Ada, Oklahoma. Also, another thing that could keep this from really producing a tornado is the fact that the base of the supercell is so large. It's not a classic supercell anymore. Like, this is the main portion of the supercell now, but it's actually still huge. So just the fact that it's really, really large might help it struggle. It's not a very confined, very well represented supercell like what it was before. You could see before when it produced a tornado, it was an extremely well defined, confined supercell. And now it's still really good towards Stratford, and then it gets a lot more sloppier here and a lot larger more east. Very like a very elongated supercell. Now we have two chasers saying different things. Actually, I think two chasers said that it was rapidly rotating, and now Connor Croft says it doesn't look organized. I'm gonna go with Connor. I'm gonna go with Connor. Let's see. Jeez. I don't normally say stuff like this on stream, but this is stupid, so I have to address it. Someone on TikTok who was a weather enthusiast, he was saying how we should have PDS warnings and tornado emergencies on time, right? I get it's frustrating that sometimes the National Weather Service isn't that fast. One of the reasons we didn't get a tornado emergency yesterday is the area that it hit in Kentucky. That National Weather Service has not had an EF2 tornado in 13 years. I believe 13 years, since 2012 was their last strong tornado. So they don't have upper management to issue a tornado emergency because it's never been needed before. So this dude, he very frustrated that we don't have PDS warnings and tornado emergencies were issued for that storm. We did eventually get a PDS. Thank goodness they kept that PDS for an hour. So thankfully we at least got that. But then he went on to say something very stupid. Get rid of the National Weather Service. Millions of people would die if we did that. Straight up. If we got rid of the National Weather Service, all the weather enthusiasts on YouTube couldn't cover weather. Me included. Twitter, no weather coverage. TikTok, nothing weather-wise. Radar Mega, GR2, College Dew Page, Pivotal Weather, Weather Bell, all these sites gone. Everything is dependent on the National Weather Service. If we get rid of the National Weather Service, that is everything. Maybe you could have some weather information from like AccuWeather or private weather companies in Arizona, but the National Weather Service still feeds their information. Surface observations, weather balloons, radar data, public information for model runs, public model runs. All that stuff is the NWS. So he also went on to say, I know they're being like funded, which is probably, at least some reason, but definitely not the full reason, but a little bit of the reason on why those warnings may have been a bit delayed from the storm in eastern Kentucky yesterday. It was definitely a little bit of the funding, the lack of funding and lack of staffing, but we need the NWS. So that's very stupid to say straight up. I'll quote him. Let me see if I could say it here. Stuff like this happens, and I'm like, get rid of them. That is what he said. What are you doing is also what he said too. We cannot afford to get rid of the National Weather Service. We cannot afford it. And this has probably near 1 million views on TikTok. So, I mean, like, really. I imagine this probably has about 1 million views. Let's see. He has over 100,000 followers on TikTok. That's crazy. Yeah, 738,000 views for this popular weather content creator to say, get rid of the National Weather Service. Like, again, yesterday, it was a combination of bad, and worse. Radar dead zone, short-staffed, not a lot of funding, and another big thing is no upper management due to the fact they haven't seen a strong tornado in 13 years. 13 years they haven't seen an EF2 tornado, and this was likely well exceeding EF2 intensity. So it was multiple reasons. It wasn't like it was just the funding or just the radar hole or just the upper management. It was multiple reasons. But again, I don't normally discuss this stuff because it can get out of hand and Twitter can get a hold of it and blow it out of proportion. But just straightforward, we need the NWS. That was my rant. There you go. It's just stupid to say something like that. It is irresponsible and stupid. Especially when you as a content creator have over 100,000 followers, over 100,000 people depending on you, and you say, get rid of the NWS. If he didn't mean it, why did he say it? I mean, like, really? Without the NWS, our forecasting would be horrific. Horrible. It would be absolutely horrible. Actually, like, see that at the top left corner there? That's the SPC. That site wouldn't exist. See that level 3 out of 5? That wouldn't exist. We wouldn't have any levels. there wouldn't be an SPC. There wouldn't be a National Hurricane Center if we got rid of NOAA. He was specifically saying NWS. But do you know how many offices there are? I know there's like 150. I don't know exactly. Let's see. Okay, 122. Plenty. 122 National Weather Service offices. And that would be getting rid of all of them. If you get rid of the NWS, you get rid of all the NWS. All of it. And like I said, then guess what? They all 122 of those National Weather Service offices, they all contribute to maintaining radar softwares across the country. You think we have bad radar holes now? Wait until we don't have radar. If we didn't have the NWS, we straight up wouldn't have any. All these gray dots, they wouldn't be there. They wouldn't be there. We would be like this, where there's no radars. That would be the US if we got rid of the NWS. There wouldn't be any radars. I do want to go back down to Texas here, just check on these storms. 65 mile per hour severe for Denton. Hey, Caden. Caden, are you still in here? I'm pretty sure that's right over you. Were you in Denton or Frisco? I know he's somewhere around here. It might have been Frisco. I forgot exactly where he is. I know he's somewhere in this area. That may be for him. 65 mile an hour winds going into Denton, Kentucky. Alright, we got an extension to our main tornado warning. By the way, look at the storm that recently was tornado warned. It died out so fast. So this one is still trying to be tornadic. Still a little area rotation there. So we'll keep seeing that.
Tornado warning for northeastern Garvin County in southern Oklahoma, west central Pontotoc County in east central Oklahoma, Garvin, and Pontotoc County in Oklahoma.
So there you go. New warning for Oklahoma. Make sure you're in your safe spot there. That's for the city of Ada, Oklahoma. And guess what? If we got rid of the NWS, it wouldn't be there. You wouldn't get a single warning ever if the NWS wasn't here. So I just think that was very irresponsible and very immature just to straightforward with 100,000 followers say, yeah, we should get rid of the NWS. Do you know how many people would die? We lost near 40 people yesterday. Even with some of the great warnings that we had, some of the huge lead times we had. You know, the tornado in eastern Kentucky yesterday may not have been PDS, but it was still warned. It was still a tornado warning, so people still should have been seeking shelter. And we still lost near 40 people from yesterday's outbreak. Imagine if we didn't get a single warning. Like, literally, from those violent tornadoes that we had yesterday, so many people. The count would probably be in the thousands. Honestly, it would probably be into the thousands of fatalities if we didn't have the NWS. Just from yesterday's outbreak alone, that doesn't count April 27th, the super outbreak back in the 1900s, the Mayfield tornado, the Rolling Fork tornado, the Greenfield tornado, all these violent tornadoes we've had, all the EF5s in the 2010s. Like, you think some of these tornadoes, you know, they are definitely, like, for instance, Eastern Kentucky yesterday, they're violent, and unfortunately, the fatality count is sometimes high with them, but it would be 10 to 100 times worse without the NWS for fatalities. Exactly, like, April 27th, 2011, we probably would have lost near 100,000 people on that day if we didn't have the NWS, so it's just so dumb to say get rid of the NWS. It's just stupid. It's very stupid. I apologize for going on all this rant, but I mean, the NWS is so important. They are so important. And again, again, all your weather YouTubers, Reed Timmer, the main two coverage YouTubers on here, Connor Croft, all these guys would lose all their information from radar softwares and model data. So you're thinking, okay, if the NWS is fully defunded and we don't have the NWS, we still have we would still have TRG or Connor Croft or these other YouTubers, Reed Timber, to help us. No, NWS goes, we go. Just straight out. If the NWS is fully defunded and they are completely removed as a branch of the government, then we go. Because we have no model data, no SPC, no National Weather Service, no radar softwares, no satellite imagery, no warnings, no watches, none of that. So it's not like we can just independently stay here and cover the weather without the NWS. They are the number one role. Oh, not to kid, all of your weather balloons would be gone too. No weather balloons ever. No observed soundings. No mesoanalysis. No no NWS all watchers warnings and advisories tab. None of that stuff. Let's see. Well, I mean, Ben, it was due. With the defunding that has occurred in the NWS, people saying radars are literally killing us. They think radars are literally brainwashing us and exploding our brains, apparently. They think they have weapons in them and they're causing all these tornadoes. Yeah, it was due for a big rant. It was very much overdue. So much stupid conspiracy theories out there about man-made weather. Most of those people are the people who go around with tinfoil hats on their head saying aliens. I saw that the other day. I'm not kidding. I am not kidding. I'm not kidding. I saw it on Twitter the other day. I saw it on Twitter. Radars are brainwashing us and trying to explode our brains. Wear your tinfoil hats. It's actually out there. It's actually out there. There's people that low IQ that think tinfoil hats are gonna block radar beams because apparently radar beams are trying to kill us. It's actually true. I'm not kidding. You don't think about that stuff. You don't think how could somebody not have not have logic and common sense, but literally wearing tinfoil hats there, trying to be protected by radar beams that are literally scanning thunderstorms and not frying our brains or whatever. Is that a good area of rotation? Let me see. Nah, that's corruption. Now, cloud seeding is different. Cloud seeding actually was proven to be real. It was used to enhance like the drought, and it was used to decrease the drought in California. They used a bit of cloud seeding, help like crops and things, but that doesn't do a nationwide radar like impact. And they've banned it. They have banned it. It is illegal for cloud seeding. It is banned. Okay, it's not legal anymore because we've seen that it has actually partially worked before, but it's banned and it cannot be done nationwide now. At least I'm pretty sure it was proven. Oh, and then you have all those stupid theories about contrails too. Yeah, see, the purpose of cloud seeding was to enhance precipitation, particularly in areas of long drought or water scarcity. It is not a good solution, though. It's not guaranteed to work. It has environmental impacts. And I'm pretty sure that's why it's illegal. I might have to look more into that because I haven't really looked a bunch into it. Let's see here. Yeah, so it's not like I don't think it's fully. It's illegal in some portions, but it's used to just help us get more rain, help droughts, help droughts dissipate. Let's see here. And see, clouds have to have already been present as well. So it's not like we're making clouds or something. Yeah, it's done very locally for bad droughts. I remember it in California. Nope. If Twitter disagrees about keeping the NWS, then man, I'm gonna go on a blocking spree. You think I've blocked a few people now? If they go after me for talking about that, don't defund the NWS and don't get rid of them. It was laughable when I saw tinfoil hats for blocking radar beams. It's just I can't believe that's actually something people have done. This doesn't look like it's doing much to me. This thing may be going more outflow dominant now. It looks still probably producing some damaging winds, but it doesn't look as impressive at all. Ardmore, Oklahoma, Uranus severe for 1.75-inch hail. Oh yeah, don't even get me started with HARP. Man. Yeah, HARP has been a conspiracy theory for decades at this point. But yeah, this started all this huge rant about everything. It all started because I saw someone say we don't need the NWS during yesterday's violent tornado. Someone said we don't need the NWS. It's like it's just so stupid, man. And like I said, I'm not gonna name the person because I don't want to. I don't want it to feel. I don't want you guys to like go hate on them by any means or anything like that. But I mean that's just crazy. I need to go find that channel again. And during the middle of a violent tornado too, like how just there's never a good time to say that, but man, how horrible of a time that is too. Let's see here. So we're gonna continue to watch this tornado warning here. It's in effect for 36 more minutes. Okay. All right. I apologize if I offended anybody. Somehow offended you. I don't think I would have. I'm pretty sure every last person in this chat is smart enough to realize we need the NWS. But that it just really frustrates me. Because after all the NWS is done saving literally millions of lives, now they're under the threat of being completely dismantled and they're already underfunded, so. I'm not going to get into the harp thing. We'll be here for hours if I get into that. Wow. Wow. That's got to be illegal. So one of the chasers, Ben Williams, went to a gas station, portrayed gas at 259. He went to the gas pump and he was in a hurry because I'm sure he was probably near that tornado warning and trying to get to it. And he went to a pump and the price was $4.99 per gallon. The pump next to him was $2.59. So he happened to go to a pump that was like nearly double the price, the portrayed price. I don't think that's legal. Having one pump that high, and like I said, he was in a hurry, so you're not going to look at the price too closely, especially if you see the price sign, you're going to think, okay, that's legit, right? If it says 259, I'm assuming all pumps are 259. That's just logic. But then he just pulled up the one and he ended up filling up because, like I said, he was in a hurry, probably in that tornado warning, and he got it for $4.99 a gallon. Jeez. Don't know if there's much you can do about that, but make sure you double check the prices on your pumps. That's insane. And it was 87 unleaded, so it's what most cars take. Both pump comparisons, too. I'm sure that's very close to illegal. That's got to be at minimum that is false advertisement, at the least. Both of these down here in north central Texas, one for 65 mile-an-hour winds now. Yeah, this whole thing just fell apart. Wow, what a underperforming risk there. We needed an underperforming risk bad, so our enhanced risk has not performed nearly as expected. Let's see. We'll go back over to. I don't think they're going to continue this tornado warning. It'll be allowed to expire in 30 minutes, or they will cancel it beforehand. We did get a new mesoscale discussion downstream for the very far east side of the enhanced. I know we had someone from the Texarkana area. This includes you in Texarkana. Wind damage, large hail threat is expected to develop early this evening. Watch issuance is likely before 9 p.m. Eastern. The potential for, let me see, I'm actually going to go here. This environment will be favored for severe wind damage, large hail, and an isolated tornado could develop. Very low tornado threat. Very low tornado threat there. But if you are in the Texarkana area, make sure you are staying hyperweather aware. You're going to be put in, I think, a severe watch. Probably a severe watch. It doesn't look like they're going to do a tornado watch for that. Yeah, I mean, if we didn't have this storm in Oklahoma form, today would have been very uneventful. It would have been a lot of wind and some large hail, but outside of that, it would have been extremely uneventful. New mesoscale discussion again. Let's go see what they say for this one. I'm very curious about this one because this storm's either going to try to pop off or it's going to just fizzle right out. We'll see what they say. Severe threat does continue. Additional convective development capable of large hail and damaging winds in a brief, weak spin-up tornado. Just to summarize the MCD. The tornado threat is extremely low, though. Main threat by a milestone is hail. That's going to be South Central Texas there. Watch closely. I think we could lose our tornado warning at any given minute here. It's for 28 more minutes, but I wouldn't be shocked if they expire it pretty soon. Yeah, here's your St. Louis tornado track from yesterday. Yesterday's tornado. You could see how wide this tornado got. Potentially up to a mile wide in this area. Potentially up to a mile wide. Look at all those EF3 indicators. Warning, if you are sensitive to damage, we are about to look at damage, so you may want to click off of stream if you are sensitive to damage. I'm about to look at it right here. This is from the National Weather Service in St. Louis with this tornado. Again, if you're sensitive to damage, you might want to click off a stream here. So this is a 2-story home house. Jeez. Wow, that is horrific. And that looks well built, too. Quite well built. 142 EF3. Wow. Yeah, no wonder why they said at least EF3. There's half of a house fully collapsed there. Jeez. Another EF3 damage indicator here. What's this? Collapse of exterior walls. Closely spaced interior walls remaining standing. See, that's why your safe spot can be interior room. If you don't have like a basement or a storm shelter, the most interior room away from doors and windows, because the interior room here was still standing. So that's why that's if you don't have a basement or a storm shelter, you want to get to the most interior room away from doors and windows, because even with this EF3 tornado, 140-mile-an-hour winds, the interior room was still standing. I believe this is the tornado that had 5 confirmed fatalities. I'm pretty sure the mayor upped it now to 5. Yeah, upped it to 5. From this tornado. Let's see, this is 1 or 2 family residents. Most walls collapsed. except interior rooms. Again, that's why we recommend if you don't have a basement or a storm shelter, interior room is your best chance there, away from doors and windows. Gracious, that is horrific damage. Wow. Oh my goodness, that is horrible damage. And this is from a low-end EF3. Wouldn't be shocked if they upped that a little bit more there. I think it's like is it like 150 EF3? Actually, I don't think it's low-end EF3. I think it is actually. I thought it was 140. I think it's like around 150. Caden, you probably know. 152. 152 EF3. Yeah, that's mid EF3. Yeah. Let's see if I can. I want to go check another tornado really quick. Let's see, I'm gonna have to go really far back. This site has been glitchy quite a bit. Okay, so that's with all the tornadoes. They used to have oh well, no, this has a good track to it. Okay, so that's because they haven't fully finished the survey in St. Louis. They'll add it more in depth when they're completely done. When was the last time St. Louis had an intense tornado? Um, this says May 31st, 2013, apparently. Yeah, it's been 12 years, almost 12 years since they have had an EF3. Their last EF4 was, of course, 2011. So it's been a little over, well, quite well over 11 years, like 11 years and 11 year, I'm trying to think of the math, 12 years. Nope, 11. I can't do math right. 11 years, 11 months, and like a few days since their last intense tornado. 11 years, 11 months, and something with the days. I can't do the day calculation. I apologize. It was on May 31st, 2013. The last EF3, if you want to do the calculation yourself. I'm too stupid. All right, this one is now warned for 65 mile-an-hour winds and 1.75-inch hail. Northwest of Gainesville in Texas. Those are your second wave storms firing up. They're firing up in Texas, the panhandle of Texas. They will move into the western portion of Oklahoma here over the next few hours. Main threat with those will be damaging winds, hail, and a few spin-up tornadoes. Still possibly a conditional strong tornado. Can't be completely ruled out, especially around 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. Eastern tonight. If supercells do fully mature like what we saw in Oklahoma not too long ago. Okay. Alright, so still a few significant severes. We're down to 8 severes. I'll I'll probably head off here pretty soon, to be honest with you. Oh, let me give you that site, Marcus. Or, rather, Grumpy Grandpa. I apologize. I looked really quick. Grumpy Grandpa, here you go. I saw you asking for it for a little bit. It's sometimes it's glitchy, though. Like, I couldn't use it for the April 27th, 2011 outbreak because it had the wrong wind speed intensities for the damage indicators. So I didn't use it because it was inaccurate. But it is the official damage assessment toolkit, so instead I used Tornado Archive for the April 27th, 2011 case study. I wasn't tracking in 2012, so I couldn't comment on that, Ben. So an example of if these storms may not maintain and sustain is right there with this cell. Formed, produced a very isolated 50 to 55 mile an hour wind gust and pea-sized tail, and then died right out very quickly. So it all depends on if a storm can sustain its updraft. Well, unfortunately, we did get at least one tornado today. There was a few instances where it was iffy. If it was on the ground, I never mentioned it because it was way too iffy for that storm in Oklahoma. But definitely at least one tornado today, and that had at least a small debris signature on radar. But now we got tomorrow to deal with. There's still a chance for a spit-up tornado, possibly even a conditional strong tornado in Oklahoma. So make sure you're weather aware in the OKC area. We're still going to see damaging winds up to 70 miles per hour and hail up to 2-inch in diameter. But the 3-inch hail, the 4-inch hail, the 5-inch hail, that stuff is all complete underperformance. Never happened. The 80 mile an hour wind threat looks very unlikely at this point. We could still possibly see a gust as high as 80 somewhere in the risk area tonight. I wouldn't completely rule it out, but it seems unlikely now. I mean, our main MCS, this is what's left of what was supposed to be our 80 mile an hour MCS right here. It's not really looking too good. It is not looking too good. Yeah, see, the HRRR still has a chance for 70 to 80 mile an hour winds, as high as and as large as 3-inch in diameter, hail, and a few tornadoes, possibly a conditional strong one, right over the OKC area. So make sure you're still weather aware there. That's 10 p.m. Central, 11 p.m. Eastern. We'll see how that goes. I do want you to note the HRRR has absolutely been trashed today. So there's the possibility that we don't even see one of those storms there. But then again, there's also the possibility this does happen. And just in case, I want you to be weather aware there in the OKC area. Just in case it does happen. Tomorrow we'll be live for sure. I'm a little unsure when and for how long, but we will be live tomorrow for sure. Monday, we're going to be live probably much of the day. Monday, probably going to be live much of the day. Tuesday as well. Tomorrow is the day that I'm a little more uncertain about. Or rather, tonight. Wait, what? No, tomorrow. Yeah. Sorry. Tomorrow, I'm a little uncertain how long I'll be live and when I'll be live, but I will eventually go live. Monday, we'll be live much of the day, and then Tuesday, we should be live much of the day. Marcus, I'll be live all the days. Tomorrow, Monday, and Tuesday, and maybe Wednesday. Wednesday may be a chase day. Right now, we're not under anything here in the Mid Atlantic, but CSU has a slight risk. So Monday has the chance to be a chase day, a full chase day, as opposed to if would I cover or would I chase? Saturday, I would be in the main threat if it does occur. Did I say Saturday? I meant Wednesday. Wednesday. Man, I need to go get some caffeine or something. I need to wake up and get my words correct again. Like, gracious day. Need to learn how to speak again. Whoa. Um, I don't think it's that strong. But it is now warned for 2-inch hail and 70-mile-an-hour winds and a tornado possible tag. It looks a lot more organized. I will say it looks a whole lot more organized. It actually looks significantly more organized than what it looked like back towards Stratford. But this environment isn't as favorable anymore, so... let me check. Yeah, the wind shear is decreasing. We'll see the next meso analysis here in like 10 or so minutes. All right, I'm going to take a quick break. I haven't had a break once in this live stream. I will be right back in like a minute and a half, 2 minutes. I'll be right back. Good morning. I'm back. What COD, Kaylee? Every now and then I'll just spend a whole weekend playing the new Call of Duty, Black Ops 6. People apparently like Call of Duties always get hated on now, but I loved the new Call of Duty. I haven't liked Call of Duty since Black Ops 3, and Black Ops 6, I loved it. Warzone, me and Lucky played that a lot together, but now Warzone, I think they removed duos for Resurgence, so I haven't played Warzone in like a month, a little more than a month. Yeah, I'm a huge zombies player, Kaylee. I successfully exfilled at like 55. Wave 55. It was crazy. Took me like 3 hours to get there. I want to do a big stream on it once. To where I try to get to like 60 or something. On the gaming channel. Oh my goodness. Media. I can't wait for NASCAR 25. I cannot wait for that. That's Seth Rogen operator. Oh man. I actually haven't spent a single dollar on transactions on Call of Duty. I did in Black Ops 2. That was the only game I actually spent like transaction on for Call of Duty. Microtransactions. That's what they're called. I didn't buy anything else in like Black Ops 3, Black Ops 4, Cold War, Black Ops 6, any of the Modern Warfare. Has never bought any of that. No microtransactions in any of that stuff. Listening to Seth Rogen was worth the $10. Yeah, the biggest thing I was surprised about with this storm is the fact that they removed the Tour Possible tag. They actually removed the Tour Possible tag here. Texarkana, I mean, this line is supposed to be 70 to 80 mile per hour winds right now, and look how terrible it looks. It doesn't look like Texarkana is going to get a lot tonight. You will get in a severe watch, but I don't see a way how that verifies. I mean, storms are super, super weak. I think the main area for severe weather tonight is going to be Oklahoma. This area right in here. Around that corridor. Do any chasers see it rotating at all, Caden? I mean, it's no longer even Tour Possible. The wind shears died off, so they removed the Tour Possible tag. Let's see if Reed's got anything. Trying to play FNAF Security Breach. One of my family members has completed like all of the FNAF games. Matter of fact, we're gonna go see the new FNAF movie in like December. We watched the first one in theaters. We're going to do it for the second one too. I've always loved FNAF. But one of my family members, they're huge on FNAF. I'm in the circle. Oh, dang it. I should have removed you. I'm trying to see what Reed has. I don't see any big lowerings right now. But he doesn't have the best view. Let's see. So we'll keep an eye on this. Going towards Colgate, the toothpaste in Oklahoma. GTA 6 and Lucky's probably gonna get it on his PlayStation on release date. I might go down to his house to see GTA 6, but it doesn't come out on computer for a while. And it's probably never gonna be released. They pushed it back like another what? Like 6 months or so. I mean, they pushed it all the way back to May 26. Oh, well, that's definitely a mesocyclone right there that Reed has. So it's definitely rotating, but I can't see exactly how much it's rotating on Reed's feed. Really? You think a moderate tomorrow, Caden? Really? The graphics are insane on GTA 6, that's for sure. I don't think my computer would be able to handle it. Gonna need a 10,090 graphics card or something. Tomorrow, Caden. I would agree possibly for Monday, but tomorrow? Watch him be dead, right? I don't know about that, man. Yeah. Edgar said there's some motion on the backside of the wall cloud. Oh, by the way, Edgar and Reed follow me on Twitter. They both follow me. Edgar just followed me on one random day and I freaked out. No offense, Kaylee, I haven't heard of that game before. I haven't heard of that. Red Dead Redemption 2. Ooh. Oh, man. I know you said Red Dead, but Red Dead Redemption 2. Oh, my goodness. I've bought that on so many different consoles and platforms and this PC, and it's been worth every single penny. I actually haven't heard of either one of those, Kaylee. Oh, they're shows? Oh, well, shoot. They're shows, you say. Looks like anime. I'm not big on anime. I've never watched something like that before. Kaylee, the Darth Vader AI in Fortnite is awesome. I love it. It is made for so many hilarious clips. Oh man, it is hilarious. I love it. I gotta go ask it if it knows who TRG Tornado is. That's what I'm gonna have to do. No hate against anime. I'm just not someone who's watched it. I ain't trying to get on the wrong side of the community over there. It's just not something I've watched before. They patched it. Oh man, lucky. I need to get lucky in Fortnite. Oh my goodness, can you imagine the things he'd get Darth Vader to say? He would find a way against that patch. He would. He would find a way to get around that patch. I know it. No patch is gonna stop Lucky. That's for sure. He would find a way. I have played like animation games on Roblox though. I'm big on RPG games, and Roblox has had quite a few that are like anime style, and I've loved those. Yeah, they added an AI Darth Vader to Fortnite. You can I'm sure the AI's crowded, like it's really just whoever lands on him and buys him first. He can turn on you too. Like if you start being mean to him, after a few mean sentences, he'll turn on you, start trying to unalive you through your in-game mic. It's really awesome. I got to get lucky to play it, man. I got to. I absolutely have to. All right, we're down to nothing tore possible and just one significant severe. 3 severes, 1 significant, and that's the one that has been our supercell and produced at least 1 tornado earlier today. Man, we've been live for almost 4 hours. I was a big fan of Rocket League when it first came out. I played it for multiple days straight on end. But then, like, after, like, the second or third season, I didn't like it anymore. I think I moved more into weather. I moved a lot more into weather. Once I found my passion for weather, my gaming passion was put to the side. I still play a lot of games, though, but not as nearly as much as what I do with watching the weather. Rockets, I just told you I played for like 1 or 2 seasons, but after the second or after the third season, I like nearly completely quit. I played it on my I think it was on the Xbox, pretty sure. This is Radar Omega. Weatherwise is better. I just still use Radar Omega because it has a few more features that I like to use, including model runs. But Weatherwise is free on a browser on your phone. You could also pay for the subscription for Weatherwise, and it's not that much. Not even close to Radar Omega's. But this is Radar Omega. My favorite radar site, and I don't think it's ever going to be overtaken, is GR2 Analysis. It's going to take a miracle of a radar site and radar software to overtake GR2 Analysis, in my opinion. I don't think any radar site ever will. And it's expensive. GR2 Analysis is like $250. But there's no subscription, so it's $250 down, and that's it. But it's a lot. That's a lot for a radar. But it was worth every penny, in my opinion. I've used it daily ever since I got it. Well, as often as I can. Every single weather live stream, every single coverage live stream, every single winter live stream, hurricane stream, GR2 Analysis I've used for all of them. I haven't been using it daily because that's a little difficult. I'm not always doing weather. But yeah, the clips with Darth Vader AI on Fortnite are wild. They cracked me up. We got a little blip in western Oklahoma. I don't think I'm going to stay live for this Oklahoma thread. I'm going to head off here very soon. At the top of this hour mark here. So in like 5 minutes, we'll begin concluding. I'll pay very close attention to radar still. There is a small chance we come back on tonight. There is a small chance we come back on tonight. Nah, I won't stay on for 0ZH Triple R. New Outlook comes out too in like 30, 40 minutes. Actually 40 minutes. I won't be live for that either. What did we just say? Reed said an outflow boundary is pushing ahead of the hook and the wall cloud, and that is choking off the cold air and thus killing the tornado potential. He said it's going a lot more outflow dominant now. More and more outflow dominant. So he doesn't believe this storm's going to be tornadic anymore. But man, look at that. It looks like two hook echoes. Hook echo, hook echo, base of one supercell, base of the other supercell. It looks like two hooks. Corvida, Alabama. Tuesday. You definitely need to watch out for Tuesday. Today, you're in a little risk for today. I think you're in a marginal, mainly for isolated wind and hail. I don't expect you to get much out of that at all. The main day for you is going to be Tuesday. If we go to the outlook for Tuesday, yeah, you're in the enhanced for Tuesday, so you need to watch out for Tuesday. For sure. We're down to just two severes. One is for 70-mile-an-hour winds, and the other one is for 70-mile-an-hour winds and 2-inch hail. So I appreciate Connor Croft for letting us use his feed today. Third link in the description. If you want to go watch his live stream, he's still live. He'll probably be live for a few more hours, chasing these storms, or at least what's left with them. Shreveport, likely heavy rain, isolated gusty winds as high as 60 miles per hour tonight. The overall threat in Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas has been underperforming, so I don't expect much at all. You should be fine. After today for Shreveport, rather, there's not much for Shreveport after tonight. I don't expect much out of any of these days. Keep an eye on Tuesday just in case, but I don't expect much. Main days today for severe weather in Shreveport, and it's been underperforming. So, yeah, we're going to go ahead and conclude here. I appreciate you guys for tuning in to another live stream. Again, thank you to Connor Croft, third link in the description, for letting us use his feed today and seeing a funnel cloud. Actually, yeah, I'm pretty sure we saw a big wall cloud, maybe a funnel cloud on his feed. And I may catch you guys tonight. There's a small chance I am live tonight. There's a small chance I come back on here tonight towards 10, 11 p.m. Eastern, so keep an eye on that. About 2 hours from now, there's a small chance if I deem it high enough to warrant a urgent live stream, we'll be back on here. If not, I'll see you guys tomorrow. I will definitely be live tomorrow for the tornado threat, hail threat, and wind threat, all significant hazards on the table. And don't know when I'll go live tomorrow. A lot of uncertainty on windstorms, fire. So I will definitely be live tomorrow, though. If storms in Oklahoma get going, we'll be live probably near 3. If they hold off, then it may be as late as 6 o'clock before we start up a live stream. So I'll be live tomorrow, possibly tonight if I deem it fit and high enough of a threat. Texarkana, like I said, just isolated damaging winds, potentially as high as 60 and heavy rain, but I don't think Shreveport or Texarkana will see much tonight. The main area for severe weather tonight will be focused on the northern edge of our tornado watch. This region here. Possibly also going into Tulsa, Oklahoma. That northern side of our tornado watch will be where the main threat is, right around the OKC area too, this region. So if we come back on tonight, it's going to be for something in this area, most likely. But all right, again, thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, make sure you leave a like on the way out. Subscribe to the channel with a notification bell set to all so you know when I go live or upload a video. I appreciate all of you guys for tuning in to another decently long live stream, 4 hours today. Nothing like the 13 hours and 45 minutes we did it yesterday. But I appreciate all the over 5,000 of you for tuning in and all the mods from on chat. I hope you guys have a great rest of your Saturday night. Like I said, I will see you guys in tomorrow's live stream. Still possible for an urgent live stream tonight. It's not likely, but it is possible. I'll keep an eye on it. But I will definitely see you guys for a live stream tomorrow. Like I said, probably sometime between 2 p.m. and 6 p.m. Eastern. That's the general time frame I'm looking at right now. I'll be able to figure out more once better model data comes in tonight into tomorrow. So once again, thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on your way out, like button on your way out, share the channel with your family, friends, social media. Once again, thank you mods from on chat and everybody just simply for being here. It's greatly appreciated. And hopefully everybody is all right after that tornado there in South Central Oklahoma. And I will catch you guys in, again, possible urgent live stream tonight if need be for those storms in Oklahoma. Hopefully they just don't get going. And then I'll definitely be live tomorrow between 2 and 6 p.m. Eastern. Somewhere around there we'll start up stream. So yeah, that's going to be it. Stay safe. Watch the weather. And once again, thank you so much for tuning in. And mods from on chat. Have a great rest of your Saturday night. Goodbye. Stay safe, watch the weather, and have a great rest of your Saturday night. Thank you, mods, once again, for modding chat and everyone just for simply being here. Good.